A triple kill, but Son of Finn, he'll deny the plant. He sees 2 more kills. Oh my god! Son of Finn will find more!
7 seconds left, they gotta pick up the diffuser, but Tommy lines up both! Tommy with the 1v3!
Device, misses shots, he's gonna have to go for the front. He pushes on through! Dylan is better!
Round 2, and there's another as Tyrant is finished off, and they all line up for Bone!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to SCS Season 5. We've got the quarterfinals of players coming up hot. My name is CDAPS, joined by my side is the wonderful and amazing Harrison Crow Broder as usual. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm really excited for this game because we get some old favorites and we get a brand new squad going up against each other. And we'll see if Aggro are finally going to take a loss.
And I lied. We actually have another person coming in. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. We have Max Keglenek Tompkins.
Great transition.
Hello, thank you for wishing me in. Wow, my lights are so dark on this version. Okay, hello, welcome back, everybody. It's so great to hear Connor. Thank you so much, Harrison. As usual, fantastic to be here. We have 2 amazing games, and these 2 teams that I think have almost exclusively really came up and become prominent in the middle of the SCS season. And I'm really excited to see if you guys can help me introduce them and really dissect how far they've come into the quarterfinals. So, Harrison, I'm going to ask you, Aggro, what should we know about them going into this?
Aggro are the leaders of Group B. They have been unstoppable so far. They've dropped a couple maps here and there, but never a full series. They came out of absolutely nowhere. They're a team of console switchovers, I believe all of them from PS4, with the exception of Splash, who they've got now in place of Ashen after that whole thing happened.
Not gonna talk about it.
They're, I mean, just as their name implies, they're aggressive. They're an aggro team. They are in your face, and they excel at getting in the building, getting in quick, and getting those entry picks.
So, with a team like Aggro, right, because we said the same thing almost about Team Mystic yesterday, where they are a team that never lost a series, but they also never lost a map. Now that we're saying this about Aggro, should we maybe expect for them to maybe lose the series tonight?
I definitely think it's more of a possibility for Aggro to lose here than it was Team Mystic to PDHM, not only because Team Mystic have been far more dominant both in and out of SCS, but also because PDHM, they're in Challenger League, right? They're not going to show everything here in SCS. Exclamation Point Bone are not. So they can do whatever they want. They can show as much as they want to against Aggro. So Aggro being weaker than Team Mystic and Exclamation Point Bone likely going to be playing with a lot more fire under them than PDHM. I definitely see a greater possibility for upset here.
Well, speaking of possibilities, though, let's see. Oh, hello, PDHM Aerial Arise, the losers round 1. But going back to Exclamation Mark Bone specifically, they're kind of an unknown, a bit of a blind spot for me personally. I really want to see what the rosters look like between the 2 teams and almost contextualize to see who exactly is who. So, Connor, what should we expect to see from Bone tonight with their roster?
Well, first off, Aaron Bonilla, R6_Bone. He's the namesake of the team, just turned 18, and overall this entire roster is using SCS as a platform to promote themselves in for like an audition to any Stage 2 Challenger League teams. You've got Exile and Bone coming in from Down to Earth, a fabled roster, GXD and Junior coming from No Plants, and Gavin Lava Griffiths coming off Aerial Arise before a couple of roster shakes. The way I like to think about this team is it's a Frankenstein's monster. It is just the best parts of so many different rosters, and I really hope for their sake that they work together well, and I think they have a ton of potential.
I like how you said it's kind of an entryway, a bit of an audition for Bone specifically. Now, why is it just Bone? Why not the rest of their team?
Well, if you type in chat exclamation point, there's a wonderful copy pasta that comes up. So, I mean, you've seen Bone. He was the man on the graphic coming through right before pre-show, and he's a formidable foe to go up against in game as well.
So is this also maybe to an extent an audition for the rest of the squad as well, to maybe see what they can do on future teams after SCS?
Precisely. GXD and Junior are already 18, and both Exile and Lava will be striking that fateful age by the end of this month. So, yeah.
It's going to be interesting. April 30th. Oh, you know, April 30th, it's a month full of birthdays. Mine's on the 17th, so I completely feel that.
My sister's is tomorrow.
Oh, very nice. Happy early birthday to her. Hopefully everyone in chat says the same thing as well. But look down below. You know, we can predict a lot of things like birthdays to an extent, but look down below. This is the most decisive prediction lineup I think we've seen, or maybe most indecisive. Aggro and Bone, the community polls, not much different either. 67% in the favor of Aggro, but it's not nearly as much as it was yesterday. Harrison, why don't you walk us through your prediction?
Unfortunately, I can't do much about that just because the exclamation point Bone roster, I believe by the time we made these predictions, was not actually solidified yet. As far as we knew, it was still no plants. But I'm really liking the exclamation point Bone roster. So you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and swap.
Welcome
I'm
to
gonna
the
go
dark
with,
side.
I think I'm gonna go for the underdogs. I think we can see the upset. Aggro, while they're a very dominant team in Group B, they are very new. Exclamation point Bone, though being new as a unit, is made up of highly experienced players that have been around the scene for years and years on PC. So I think the experience and the chemistry of them basically just all being friends already can carry them through.
And Connor, you said joining the dark side. Walk us through your prediction. Do you think it's going to be the one that comes out on top tonight?
You know, exclamation point Bone, they have a lot to prove, just as much as Aggro does, but Aggro have proved a little bit through and might come in a little bit overconfident, and sort of towards the backside of the SCS regular season, they were starting to taper, they're starting to fall and start giving up a little bit more maps to other teams. And when that kind of trajectory is constantly coming through, it always rings alarm bells inside my head. It's like in NFL when a team starts off like 12-0 and they finish 12-4 going into playoffs. You are like, that's a giant question mark. And overall, I think that's what's going to befell Aggro.
Ooh. Well, the predictions might help solidify a little bit more once we see exactly which maps are going to be facing this best of 3 tonight. If you look down below, you can see not only the map bans, but the maps that we're actually going to be going to. And holy,
No Oregon.
No Oregon. But that decider Villa is still one of the most interesting maps, at least in my opinion, in Siege. But look at map number 2, Harrison. It's going to be Consulate.
So regarding this map selection, I can definitely see a 3-map game. Aggro have a storied history on Clubhouse. They're a very good Clubhouse team, but they fell very recently on Consulate. And according to, we're very good friends. Connor and I are very good friends with Michael and Gavin. Their scrims are looking really good, particularly on Consulate and Villa. So I could definitely see a 3-map series. I think it's definitely probable, but looking at this map selection, I'm leaning towards exclamation point Bone here.
Oh, but Connor, before we ask overall what your prediction is going to be, do you think it's going to go to a 3-map game?
I also think it's a 3-map game. Aggro is a very good roster on Clubhouse. I don't see them winning Consulate against exclamation point Bone because of how strong they've looked, and pretty much all 5 of those players coming off of their respective teams were very high performers on that embassy, not embassy, blah. And Villa, it's really going to be an interesting game. I think with it going the distance, there's going to be a lot of feeling out on both rosters where they're going to start learning tendencies and getting playstyle sort of generalizations and applying it on the counter-stratting side. So overall, with Villa being a very basic map that pretty much every team has inside their repertoire, inside their arsenal of maps and battlegrounds to take other teams to, it's going to be just who's going to feel more comfortable at the end with each other's play styles, and probably just a frag fest.
Well, Connor, we've talked so much about Consulate. It's probably the most interesting, I would say, map out of the 3. But Clubhouse is one that's been tried and true since the very beginning of Siege, ever since its initial rework in Velvet Shell. Do you think that one team has a huge advantage here?
Yeah, I think with some of the strats and stuff that we have seen from exclamation point Bone, plus Aggro not historically going to Consulate's one of those maps that you either have it or you don't. It's an all or nothing phenomenon. And since Aggro, being an aggressive roster that likes to take gunfights, is shying away from that map, as well as the new map as well as Oregon, which is a little bit more structured. But shying away consistently from Consulate kind of proves that you're not comfortable with the mechanics of repelling and stuff like that, with the window play being so massive. So just got to give it Bone's way.
Ooh, so it seems like Bone, Aggro, and then the very last map, again, Villa. We touched on it a tiny bit more, but Harrison, who's it going to come out on top? You still agree with your initial prediction?
I do. Villa it tends to be a more creative map than Clubhouse or Consulate. At this point, they're pretty linear. You can still do some crazy stuff on Villa. And again, exclamation point Bone, they're extremely experienced. And not only that, but so I don't even know about this, but there is some weird phenomena in Siege called the honeymoon phase. And that's when you first pick up a player, you first assemble a stack, and you are just godlike together. And the fact that exclamation point Bone was not solidified until maybe a week ago, I imagine they might still be in this honeymoon phase.
Now, how long would you say a honeymoon phase typically lasts for?
That's a great question. Usually it's your first couple games.
Okay. Now, my big question then, because you saw the games last night with Biblioteca, do you think they're still in a honeymoon phase too?
Yes. Absolutely.
Oh, so there could be a possibility, in maybe some world, we could see Biblioteca versus exclamation mark Bone, two honeymoon teams going up against each other in the upper bracket finals.
I think exclamation point Bone can make it. I don't think Biblioteca, no matter how well they're feeling themselves, I don't think it's going to be enough to topple Mystic.
Oh, but if we want to take that a step further, Harrison, do you think the honeymoon phase can carry them over into Team Mystic and beat them?
For Bone?
Yes.
That I don't know as well. Team Mystic just looked too good.
Oh. It's a bold claim. It's a bold claim. We saw some interesting happenstance between the two teams yesterday, but Connor, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think the honeymoon phase will carry exclamation mark Bone over Honor?
You know, I think it comes down to how much Honor wants it. Once again, it's the same storyline that we already wove in with PDHM not wanting to show strats because Challenger League is a little bit more important in their eyes, and as it should be, T2 greater than T3. As much as we love our grassroots here, community run leagues, North American Challenger League is pretty fun. So with that in mind, Honor did look amazing against Smoke Break, but also Smoke Break, they did not come out swinging. They weren't really feeling good, and Honor took advantage of that. How much Honor wants to put in the prep against exclamation point Bone is another argument entirely, but I do want to stay kind of reserved on my predictions for exclamation point Bone because once again, they're a new roster and maybe they're gonna absolutely flop today. I don't know. I want to believe in them, but it is still hard to fully back against a roster such as Honor, who are tried and true, have looked good, have good structure, support staff, the whole lots, as well as Pox. Pox is kind of a cool person, Mr. Unicorn Man himself, but that one's a bit of a
unicorn
toss-up.
man?
Yeah.
He has a unicorn outfit. He wore it on stream the other day.
Oh, interesting. I'm sad that I missed that. But if you do enjoy SCS and all the different shenanigans like a unicorn outfit, make sure you go check out SCS to make sure you're caught up with all the action that goes on during the season and future seasons to come as well. As well, if you want to follow at SCS_esports on Twitter to follow in real time everything that's going on and the best and biggest highlight clips that happen during the matches, make sure to do so. But Harrison, Connor, it seems like we're going to be starting the match in just a few minutes here, and I want to know what the operator bans for Clubhouse are going to look like. Harrison, let's start with you.
Hibana Thatcher.
We might not have to wait much longer. You might be able to tell us in real time. It actually looks like we're just about ready to start map number 1 here. Connor, Crow, let us know how it goes. Good luck and go kill it out there.
Thank you very much, Max. And like I said, like you had just touched on, the bans on Clubhouse tend to not really be all that flexible. Usually Hibana Thatcher, Hibana Maverick, sometimes even Thatcher Mav. Those are a little bit rarer nowadays, and there we go. Yeah. There's the Hibana. As always, because she's just really...
We feeling Mira Val?
Really good.
For defense? Leaving the Thatcher up so you don't have to ban Cade?
There's going to be... Nope.
Okay, Thatch.
Cade Valk.
So, yeah, Cade Valk.
I
thought maybe they were going to go for the Mav ban as opposed to the Thatcher to try to throw off some players. Interesting that Exile is going to have to play the Maverick. We've seen that he doesn't know how to draw a straight line. So, so worrying a touch. There's the Valk. And Yeah.
Oh,
Great.
it was actually
Probably.
Aggro to ban the Valkyrie. Didn't expect that one.
Probably gonna be Mira, right? You're gonna get in 100%? Yeah,
Yes,
there
sir.
we go. It's almost like Clubhouse bans are
okay.
a first grade reading level.
So, yeah. We do, however, have the Cade on the board. So that's going to make Maverick oh so important. You're going to need him to open up Plat Wall if you want to open up Construction or Garage, too, depending on where those Cade Claws are going to be allocated. You're going to need him to open those hatches down on the basement as well. There you go. Kicks immediately donning that Maverick. It's, of course, defense first here for exclamation point Bone, and they will, in fact, go to the offsite. It's going to be Gym and Bedroom, and we've got a little bit of an off pick. We'll see if Silent decides to stick the Finka, and it's a Frost now for Exile. Okay, there's the Finka gone. Okay, it's going to be Ace. I was a little
think
bit
he got
excited.
random picked. I think he had the op glitch.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. But hey, he got his op in the end. Also, quick disclaimer. Rexivy.aggro is
It's not Rexivy.
Not Rexivy.
It's Splash.
It's Splash.
No free clout for Rexivy. We're gonna call him Splash. We don't have to cast a Mystic game, so we don't have to talk about Rexivy.
Disclaimer, if we say Splash, we're talking about Rexivy-aggro. Because for some reason, he decided he wanted to impersonate somebody. Who the hell knows?
Yep, but like you said, tertiary bomb site, gym, bedroom, and as that often accompanies, a wide horizontal spread out, an extension, if you will, through construction into cache, where there's going to be a couple of bodies allocated over towards that position, a little bit of utility, and a couple of deep angles opened through. Mainly for the side of Aggro, I would expect a full horizontal clear, as we're seeing it all push through. Understandably so, you see an extension, so you got to go break it down.
Yeah, this is, pretty typical from a gym defense. You never see a gym defense without it, pretty much, except for that. Who's the team that ran it? Was it SSG that completely vacated cache and just held inside of construction with holes in instead? I can't remember which pro team did that, but that's kind of like the only time we ever see people not in cache. The people holding it will be Lava as well as Bone, your Malusi and your Jaeger. So a 3-speed with C4 and one of the best guns on the defense, along with a crossfire from construction. You'll always see these head holes being open in the con wall. Exile being able to hold that crossfire here with Lava. So reinforcements on Plat Wall means they had to use one of those ace charges to go ahead and open it up very quickly. Not Ariel, I saw Lava's tag. Bone will quickly fall off of that. So they'll give that control to Aggro. It's just a matter of time before they find that out.
Yep, and with the pressure that can be applied from down beneath with Eddie on the buck, it's going to be difficult to play inside of Logi, which is where I believe Junior is residing. So as some bullet holes come in, trying to hold any rotations on the deep angles that were once opened up head level, now opened up crouch, Silent with the AK-12, with the AK-12, trying to just hold it away, and that means Exile can no longer play inside a gym. You don't want to give the free man advantage to a team like Aggro, who are really synergy and momentum based. As soon as they get a pick, they're going to keep on pushing. And for exclamation points Bone side, they need to try to hold them back for as long as possible, which is exactly what Junior is doing. Couple of drones, couple utility going his way as he's denying that passive intel and actually aggressively peeking over towards the top hatch. But all of a sudden, his vision's robbed from an Exile picks up an absolute freebie. So does Lava, but it's a refrag onto Exile from Silent as the shotgun goes Burt right in, and it's a double kill for a Junior. All in the matter of moments. Exclamation point Bone goes massive. Gavin with the double. Shotgun goes huge. Exile with the long angle bouncing around, and a pretty much flawless round going into the favor of exclamation point Bone.
Yeah, you could see there, Aggro, for better or for worse, decided that they were going to put all their eggs into one basket. They drone out Junior, they find him in gold, but they do not account for literally anything else. I mean, the drone that came through obviously missed the frost mat that was directly under the hatch. You'd be surprised how many people actually miss that just because it's like perpendicular, so you can't see it, if you look straight down, and sometimes the debris from the hatch even covers it. So one man goes down to the hatch. Exile's able to pick up that kill. You've got Lava covering the crossfire as well through not only the gold rotate, but he can also peek Condor as well and find those people rushing in from the cash side and single panel side of things. Junior was able to cover himself with a shotgun because taking the gold angle over towards Cubby, I mean, you're not going to win that if you're an attacker if Junior's hitting his shots. Aggro, unfortunately there, they, again, put all their eggs in one basket, but Bone did as well. And when you're walking into the lines of sight like that, into the defenders, and your trade game is not up to par, which it was not, you're going to find yourself a little bit of a sore loser after that one. So great defense by Bone. They take their offsite first, which is fantastic for them. And they'll immediately go back down to church.
Yeah, I touched on it briefly with Aggro being a very momentum-based roster to a point where it's live by the sword, die by the sword. If they don't get that first pick, they can struggle, and that's the issue that we saw magnified and cranked all the way up to an 11 on a knob. So with Bone getting that first pick, it was just like tipping over a domino, and all of a sudden it just whoosh, all fell apart. But for Bone's side now, they're going down to a lot stronger of a bomb site than we would see on Gym. This is downstairs. Typically, there's kind of two ways to hold. You either go full roam, SSG-esque, if you will, or you go full bunker, and it seems like Bone is going for the latter side. A lot of bodies in around site, and giving a lot of map control to Aggro early on, which they're taking full advantage of.
Yeah, this is... I don't imagine that Bone will be bringing out the SSG roam anytime soon, just because, again, they are a decently new team, and it takes a lot of coordination to pull that off properly. And because there's no roam, it means that Aggro are able to get in swiftly and efficiently. We already see the drones coming in, making sure there's no one on those top two floors. Vertical destruction already coming down as well with the breaching charges of Asian. Now Eddie will come in and join the squad, that Buck Skeleton key being, you know, pretty much peak efficiency when it comes to soft vertical destruction. That was odd, but Kix is able to open up that Moto hatch again, despite the Cade charge. The Electro Claws are on there, meaning Silent can't breach it. Means you're going to be relying on the Maverick if you want to go and open up Moto, as well as if you want to open up Blue, if that's where your method of attack just happens to be coming from. But it looks like Aggro are going to be going mainly for a Kitchen Moto drop, along with one man flanking over towards the blue side. That'll be Splash, and we got to keep our eye on him when it comes to the later execute for the ground.
Yeah, he's gathering that intel on Bone. He was pretty much going to have a 1v1 with the Zofia in just a couple of seconds whenever Aggro fully starts to actualize their final execute. A couple of burns going the way onto the triple wall of Church, making all those anchors feel uncomfortable. But Junior's still standing strong, but neither is Lava as he falls at the hands of Eddie. The Buck vertical play surmounting too much pressure for the defenders to handle. A quick rotate impact to deny the main stairs flank. But on the other side, speaking of flanks, is the Zofia of Splash creeping down. He's going to pick up, actually get obliterated by Bone. But it's a quick refrag onto Asian as more and more bullets are flying every which direction. It's even Steven on the man count here, but only 30 seconds left on the clock.
A little bit of BM there from Bone, just laying into the corpse of Splash there. Gonna unfortunately cost him his life. Asian and Exile now both at 1 HP along with Kix, but Junior and GXD, the 2-3 armors still very healthy. Exile has made his way upstairs, but he'll lose his fight to Eddie. He'll finally get finished off, and the Aggro members will take into Church. GXD fells Asian. It's gonna be up to Eddie to try and plant with Kix all alone to cover, but no! A failed flank by Junior. He'll die to the ace holes, and GXD can't spot Kix behind the bomb chassis. Aggro somehow able to take round number 2. Bone had that round in their pocket. The 2v2, both players low, forced into the plant, but a failed flank by Junior and good cover usage by Kix there will solidify the round for Aggro.
Really well done by Aggro, where as soon as the carnage in blue started occurring, I was very hesitant to sort of give them any credit on that attack, but the teamwork and energy that they were able to utilize on that 2v2, they were a well-oiled machine, both picking up a free kill and turning it into their favor. The late flank going back up the stairs, the proper read of the rotation of Exile to the top of Moto Hatch was very well read by Eddie, and that ultimately, that decision right there probably won them the round, because as soon as Exile would have heard that case open up, he would have just dropped Moto and gotten probably both of those kills, and it would have been an organized pinch for the retaking defenders to push the breach, push the door, push in blue, establishing a triple crossfire that I don't care how good you are, probably are not going to overcome, but Aggro properly identifying and reading into those rotations allowed them to isolate the gunfights, take a series of 1v1s, and take the round into their favor.
Yeah, that was a little unfortunate there for exclamation point Bone, especially with Junior having the opportunity to make a massive play and just not having his gun up. I don't know what that was about, but either way, round's done. Exclamation point Bone will now go ahead and move on to Cash. They don't want to try Church again, even though it was mighty close. I guess they just want to keep Aggro on their toes. They'll go Cash CCTV, still bringing the Cade on Exile, so, you know, you're going to have Kix fully Mav trick that wall instead of being able to just do away with the utility and have the... Oh, no, never mind. He must have put both his Cade Claws in Garage. Yeah, they're both in Garage. Okay. So what exclamation point Bone are playing for right now is holding on to Garage for dear life. And Aggro will likely see this and adjust and say, okay, we have to go for a construction take.
Oh.
Wow. Eddie, sitting on a position oftenly referred to as freebie, will instead find himself on the receiving end. Junior, with a great heads-up play, shooting him right through the Mav holes. They take out the buck early, and they no longer have to worry about that upwards vertical play.
Yeah, really well done. That means pretty much everybody over towards green box is going to sigh a gigantic breath of relief, but all of the air has been taken out of Exile's lungs as Splash put him 6 feet under. There goes your Rafters player. And now Garage, the position that we said, exclamation point Bone, we're going to try to hold on for dear life, is significantly weaker. Bone has made his way up, and it's just army crawling through Rafters. I don't know why, but there's a reason he's playing and I'm not. Maybe he knows something that I don't. But for the rest of the exclamation point Bone defense, they have to start focusing on the backside pressure that is surmounting ever so quickly. As Splash is going to get another kill onto Lava. Asian starting to blast away down below, taking away power positions inside of Cash, as well as trying to deny the C4 potential inside of Lounge.
Bone is really afraid of whoever's outside that breach, not wanting to risk any part of him being exposed, hence the army crawling, but as Silent peeks towards the Condor, he'll take out a key site player before GXD refrags, but it's a 3 versus 2. One player in sight, Bone still left all alone inside of Rafters. Asian could come from below over towards Swamp, while Splash is still hanging outside of Platwall, but no, Asian will join Kix in the attempted construction push over towards the west side, still tussling with GXD, but it's actually GXD to fall. Instead of playing with his gas grenade, he'll instead just go ahead and peek, meaning Asian can start to get this plant down, and Bone has no method of denial other than his gun. He'll go ahead and peek Platwall, but he'll lose the fight to Splash, and Aggro take round number 3.
Really well done once again by Aggro, and this is why in the pre-show we were talking about that their Clubhouse, the only way to describe it is fabled. They are incredibly comfortable on this German bar, and the main strength of their entire map is their attacks, which they're putting on an absolute clinic so far.
With the exception of that of round 1, where they had kind of a foolhardy Logi take, the rest has been decently solid. Yes, Church came really close, and I have to say was more on the mistakes of exclamation point Bone towards the latter end of that round than it was on brilliant play from Aggro in the early portion. But that last Cash take, you know, despite losing Eddie early, didn't need him. They were able to find trades, a big 3K for Splash there, just hanging outside of Platwalls. All of exclamation point Bone just kind of peeked over, and Silent and Asian on their con push, being able to take out both of those key site players inside of Cash, really solidified the round for them. Exclamation point Bone, they will continue on their carousel of the sites. They'll go back to Gym, where they had initially started this map off with a win.
Yeah, once again, don't want to harbor back too far to past rounds, but it's the only precedent we can go forward on with this newer exclamation point Bone roster. Aggro did struggle pushing into the really kind of intricate defense that exclamation point Bone was bringing to the table. It's standard to an extent, but the mass amount of people inside Logi is something that you don't see every day. It's a once in a blue moon kind of situation. And factor that in with the Frost Mats picking up a couple of kills, was still an interesting round. For exclamation point Bone, they're putting a little bit more emphasis over towards CCTV this time because Aggro has shown their hand that they want to go for the full horizontal take, but they're going to be having one less gun on the table to bear the brunt of the Aggro attackers. Bone gets picked off early due to that aggression from Asian. In the Ash, that's the Ash versus the Jaeger. That's the dichotomy of man. One's going to get the first kill, and one's going to die first.
Well, Bone off the board, and he was one of those important cash players the previous attempt on this site. He was the one over here on top red, playing behind the shield, and now it's Exile to take his place. No longer on the Frost, now on the Aruni for some extra utility burn. But Lava getting aggressive over towards Rafters. He knows Plat Wall isn't open just yet, so he can shoot through that wall, and he'll take the head right off of Splash, the big player with the 3K from last round. Finally, Plat Wall will be opened. Asian inside of server trying to tag team with Silent, and Eddie down below. Exclamation point Bone not flushing off early from last time, and Exile will pay the price, as does Lava in the form of HP. Both of them now down very low.
Yep, now a whole lot of Home Depot renovation work going on the downside, and that's the cue for all of the Team Bone players to get out of dodge. They were feeling the pressure and dip straight away, but they've already killed half of the timer for this round, and Aggro are going to have to get a bit more aggressive and start pushing through. But now as the Lava goes down, that's made exponentially easier in the 4v3 situation. Man advantage swinging their way. This is where they thrive. These are the positions that they like, but they're still going to have to strip away Logi control from the cold dead hands of both Xstyle and the mute of Junior. He's prone underneath the desk, something that strikes PTSD into the heart of my co-caster, but I think this one might just work.
It could, especially with Junior denying that drone before it was able to spot him out, but there is a second one. Oh no, but it's got to burn the Aruni gate first. Eddie, though, he's got flashes in his pocket. Go ahead and check Logi. Will he check the desk? He doesn't. Exile, at least for now, will remain undroned. This could be huge, but there's 3 players in front of him. Here comes the ace. That's an easy pick. Can he get the second? No, he'll run out of ammo. The low ammo count on the Aruni. On the, what is that called? The P10 Roni. I forgot the name of the gun. Unfortunately going to do him in, but there's Junior with the pick on the Asian, killing that Logi player, but the drop shot from Eddie, it bears fruit. It's just GX. He's stuck inside of the bathroom stall. They know exactly where he is, and it's a pre-fire from Kicks to do him in. Aggro take round number 4. It could have been an absolutely massive play there from Exile, but only 20 bullets in the mag wasn't enough. Another round for Aggro.
Really unfortunate, but you can't really fault the lack of trigger discipline in that kind of scenario. You pop up at a desk, you see 2 bodies right in front of you, and you just look at the camera and say, well, anyways, I started blasting. But you can't do that with the Roni. Like you mentioned, it's just a machine pistol with 20 bullets, and you've got to be just very conservative with your ammo consumption, which is a lesson that Exile learned the hard way. Really unfortunate, as that play definitely should have panned out and would have swung the round definitively into Team Bone's favor. But Aggro, that's also a trick that they're not going to fall for twice. They're going to be a little bit more concerned about rat areas, as we saw evident from the chat, and will probably do their best extermination impersonation. So yeah.
I was wrong. They are, in fact, going to bring out the SSG Rome.
Hey, Crow, do the bit.
You want me to do the bit?
Yeah, I want you to do
All
the
right,
bit.
you want me to do the bit. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please turn your attention towards the right side of your screen to the defining lineup. Castle, Mozzie, Malusi, Mute, and Vigil. This is what we call the SSG Rome. Space Station Gaming coining this strategy, as they are the winners of the previous SI 2020. They're the world champs. They currently reside in the NAL. And it is quite the Rome. It was revolutionary at the time. And what you do is you bring all 3 of those drone denial operators and you sit them on the top 2 floors. Vigil covers the roamers inside of bar, while Mute and Mozzie sit upstairs with plat wall reinforced, jacuzzi wall reinforced, jammers behind them to make sure they're not free, and the rest of all their drone denial scattered about. It's up to Bone to try and cover those roamers when they eventually fall back to the site, and it's up to Lava and Exile to waste as much time as possible. The object of this roam is not to get picks. It's to waste time and to waste drones. If you feel yourself getting too pressured, don't take the fight. Just fall through one of the many available hatches that have been opened. They're assisted, of course, by the castle barricades, keeping that Vigil, keeping that cover player safe inside of bar. Meanwhile, you've got the Malusi and the Castle down on site. The Castle, whose utility has been expended, you might as well keep him down on the Anchor, and GXD on the Malusi there as well. He's got those Banshees to give him any sort of warning sign of any early push from the attackers, because the most common method of just kind of circumventing this roam is to rush dirt and blue. But already, Silent will get the first pick, I believe, through the kitchen hatch. He'll get it on the Junior, and the attackers, they'll just drop.
Yep, fun fact for all y'all at home, the Space Station Gaming calls this strat just the roam, but for aggro, they call it free plants, as now we are already having the diffuser down. It's a 5v2 situation. Make that a clutch for Bone, as he's going to pick up 1 kill, but most likely it's going to fall impactless, and that's exactly what Eddie's going to do, since Bone, the namesake of the team, home in a body bag, closed casket funeral from the C8. That's a beautiful counter strat of the very, very famous roam that Crow has the script for and recites it by heart and always impresses me.
Of course. Now, we saw honestly, a little bit of an unconventional counter to it. Normally, as I said, you see a blue dirt rush, and you try and pinch onto the site there. Instead, Aggro had one man going dirt, and the rest of them covering from kitchen and the kitchen hallway, namely from B1. The reason why that's smart is you avoid the Banshees in blue. If you can kill the one guy covering Arsenal, which is usually the Castle, you've got that free plant, and with people still sitting in B1, they can act as a cutoff for the cutoff. I mean, sure, the Vigil's able to drop into the Moto hatch, but with Exile coming down the staircase like that, fully exposes himself to B1. Aggro already have the flanks covered. They make sure that the roamers can't rotate back to the site safely, and that was perfect. Pristine from the attack there. Now, exclamation point Bone, they find themselves down 4-1. They need this round if they want to stay in this map.
Yeah. Aggro has looked clean on their most recent attacks. They just took a couple of rounds to warm up, and this is the roster and the team that we expect to see on the map of Clubhouse, and they're not disappointing by any stretch of the imagination. But for Team Bone's side, like you said, this is a very critical round. Clubhouse, depending on how the bans go and depending on how the teams are playing it, can sometimes teeter more toward the attacker-sided favor. However, Aggro's defenses are, like their name, very aggressive and will require a lot of gun skill in order to overcome, which right now, with Aggro playing with so much confidence, seems to be not as likely as Team Bone would like to admit. Most likely as well, we're not going to see a free kill for Junior on the Malusi from Red Stairs because there's nobody peeking. Somebody learned their lesson that freebie spot was not in fact free. And with the Maverick opening up the wall, CC window pressure, and the horizontal roam clear coming in from Master,
He's going for all of it.
Yeah, he's going for the whole wall. He did it last round as well.
Because of Maverick's buff, you got more than enough to do it as well. Missing a little bit, but thanks to the cover of Splash, it's still safe. I wonder why he did the top there and not.
You can get an angle onto rafters.
Oh, from the rappel.
Yeah, from the rappel.
Okay, that makes sense. So already, minute 30 left. Aggro, they got the wall open, and now it's up to them to choose. Is it going to be construction or is it going to be garage? Exile's bringing the Cade again, so it's likely going to be construction again, especially as Asian destroys that jammer from below, making way for the Ace to go ahead and breach construction. Lava's position not going to be safe for too much longer. He'll have to rotate out and take this fight. Quite a disadvantageous one against the Platwall Repel player.
Yeah, Splash with the M762, got that long-range sight. It's the SMG, sometimes that gun can kick like a bucking bronco, and would be very hard to deal with, but easily dealt with as the player up inside of rafters, as Splash will drop him down. Eddie's also picking up a frag onto Lava, but as GXD refrags, Eddie will get another one. Now both of these remaining players are going to have to double up their worth and make that Eeyore quadrupling it. It's a clutch situation. He's not going to get a single frag. Eddie with a huge 3K on the buck cements the 5-1 attacking split for Clubhouse, and Team Bone are in hot water.
Aggro just showing how deathly proficient they are on Clubhouse. This is their playing ground, and they are putting exclamation point Bone in the dirt where they belong. 5-1 half on your attack. Now, say what you will about this map being more attacker-sided than it used to be, but with a Cade
5-1
still
is-
up,
Ooh.
with a Hibana gone, I don't know. Maybe the Valkyrie ban is having more of an impact on this defense than I would have previously thought, but 5-1 is still a hefty lead to throw away. I don't know. Exclamation point Bone, they're going to need to bring something out on this attack if they want any hope of coming back. They're going to have to do it attacking Church, one of the main bomb sites. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's definitely an uphill battle for Team Bone, but you know, the saying, pressure, it makes diamonds or it bursts pipes. This is Team Bone's pressure test indeed, but no, we're not on Master Chef. We're downstairs in the basement, residing right below the kitchen, which I'm assuming Lava is gonna try to be escorted to after the room clear. Being the only soft breacher on the team, sure, there's a couple of breaching charges and rounds combined between Eeyore, or Junior, and Bone, but most likely you want that buck to stay alive, because then you can actually clear the people sitting down below and you can go for that kitchen hatch drop. You can actually be flexible in where you want to execute. You can either force everybody back out of the B bomb site into the A bomb site of Church and hope to stop their retake positions, or you can just kill everybody and push dirt and go for frags. That's the way that really we've seen the Church basement bomb site start to go down and towards. Not as many plants as you would expect because of how many plant denial operators can be brought on the defensive side. You've got Toxic Babes. You can bring so many nitro cells to just throw over the wall and stop that hatch drop plant that a lot of the times teams just go for frags. That's what we saw Aggro do on one of their successful sides, and the first time that they attacked it went down to the 2v2. They tried to get the plant down, but it didn't really matter because they could just kill everybody. But with the way that Bone are attacking, Team Bone that is, they already have a good amount of map control and their pacing looks good.
Yeah, they're going for blue. One-man oil pit, one-man secret stairs. Trying to get Asian out of behind generator. Splash coming in to support as the hatch gets opened up from above him by Exile on the Maverick. The real question here is where else are exclamation point Bone going to go? You need another avenue of attack. Right now, Lava breaking above kitchen. But GXD already downstairs. I'm not quite sure if they've got the kitchen hatch open. It looks like they might be going for the church wall, but that's going to be a little bit hard for GXD to do considering the entire thing is electrified. And no, I don't see any debris on the ground, so I believe kitchen hatch is still closed. This is going to be tough for exclamation point Bone if they can't establish that second line of sight.
Yeah, what they did was take map control early, but they've stalled out. I don't know if it's the slowish, kind of sluggish pacing of Exile on the Maverick, who currently is struggling in the frags department as well. But with only 50 seconds left on the clock, everybody is alive, and Exile's the only one that's taken damage. This definitely swings to the favor of the defenders, who just have to hold these crossfires, all these angles that they've opened up, and wait patiently until Team Bone walks into their loving arms. But now the fragging has begun, as Splash is going to drop a nitro cell right onto the hard breach of GXD.
At least he was able to get the hatch open first, I guess. And here's that blue pressure. Bone comes down from Oil Pit. He's able to tag up one, take Eddie down to 1 HP, but he'll be low himself. Lava finishes off silent, though, as it's a one-man advantage now here for exclamation point Bone. But Splash is quick to even things out. Wow! He's going to absolutely dumpster Junior. The 180 flick there. Eddie takes out Lava as well, leaving it all up to Bone. All three players in this lobby, they'll be playing paintball. Bone checks the right corner. All he's got to do is try and find Eddie, but as he hits the sprint from behind the bomb chassis once again, Eddie will win the round. Aggro will win round number 7. They now lead 6-1.
A single round going into their favor with every single bomb site except basement open to them. They could go bar stock if they wanted to. They have enough of a buffer zone that they could bring out the fun strats, but they're like sharks. They smell blood in the water, and they are going into a feeding frenzy, immediately going for the throat to the preferred secondary bomb site of CCTV and Cash. Interesting strat that we're going to see. Most likely, Splash will allocate those Electro Claws towards Garage, but the inclusion of an Aruni that Asian is packing definitely adds another layer of utility burn and intricacy to the strat that we typically see brought on this bomb site.
Yeah, the Rooney's always cool.
I love a Rooney.
Typically, though, you don't see a Rooney on this site. If there's anywhere you're going to see a Rooney on Clubhouse, it's
Gym?
typically Gym.
Jim, yeah.
To facilitate a cash hold, but I guess, hey, if you use her to facilitate a cash hold, why not use her in cash itself? She's also going to be bringing that bulletproof cam, so you've got extra eyes on that construction door. The only thing that you typically see on this site that you're missing is a Maestro. But, hey, Aggro just don't want to use it. And
You think you could get away
That's
with no shotgun by bringing a Rooney with her robo hand?
I think it takes too long.
Yeah, and you can't
She's
get
got
those
she's got too
nitro
much.
holes
She would
that
have too
Kix
much
is
prep to
opening.
do. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to. You can get away with one shotgun, as we can see with Kicks, but even then, we haven't really seen Asian use much of the punch. It's just been the shotgun prep. Of course, Splat going to be using the cage claws inside of garage, making sure those walls don't get opened, which means there's
Wow,
no
I got a
breach denial on
prediction
plat wall. But what it mainly does is it forces the attackers over towards Khan.
Yeah, you're going to go for that split take as Exile's still going to open up this top right corner of the barricade. It provides a really deep angle to cut the rotation of the Rafters player if there is one residing on those giant metal slats. He gives up very quickly, but if Gavin Lava Griffiths is going to repel on that buck, you can watch both the rotate as well as the window vault, which as the rest of his team starts to sprawl themselves across the first floor, Splash is going to have this pressure mounting up. They haven't opened up the garage door, which is the main area he would like to challenge, but as well on the side of Aggro, still setting up the bomb site. Shaping up to be quite interesting,
Wow.
but Asian absolutely obliterates GXD. Down goes your primary hard breach, meaning that all of those walls that the team wants to open are gonna fall onto the side and responsibility of the Maverick Exiles bringing. Definitely not the start that Team Bone were looking for. And Aggro, if they've properly read into the attacking composition, that is now all dead.
What just happened?
They can play passive. I was gonna say they can play passive, but they don't. That word on their vocabulary is now, it's clutch, do or die for Junior, and he chose to die.
He got tapped by a revolver.
Yeah.
How did Eddie just kill those guys?
I don't know. I don't know.
Was that out the breach? It must have
I
been.
think did he just swing swamp and everybody was stacked outside a garage?
Dude. No, Eddie was upstairs. He was by plat wall. It must have been out. It must have been out the breach.
Had to have been.
Either way, incredible stuff from Aggro. 12 and 2 for Eddie. 10 and 4 for Splash.
Asian had like what, 3 plants?
Yeah, on the Ash, something like that. But yeah, that was rough there. From exclamation point. Bone. Hopefully they got something else to show us on Consulate, because I mean, sure, you lost your opponent's map pick. You know, you don't necessarily expect to do that. You want to win your map pick instead. But a 7-1, not even putting up much of a fight. That's gotta not feel great.
Yeah, there were some good moments coming out of Team Bone, which once again they have potential, but they chose to take Aggro to their best map, where they have beaten really good teams. And welcome back, Keg.
Hello.
Interesting game, right? Very close.
Yeah, very close. So let's talk about that honeymoon phase again, because we certainly didn't see that in map number 1. Harrison,
Nope.
walk us through that. Where was Bone the entirety of that map?
You know, I was asking that question myself. A lot of times we'd see like a decent start from them, and then everyone would just die. They would set up improperly, or they would miss time a push, or somebody on aggro would just go huge, which is something that we've learned, counter to popular belief, is something aggro can kind of rely upon, and that's where they get their strength. They have 5 very individually skilled players, and they can all pop off at any time.
So Connor, do you think those individual plays really set Bone kind of, I don't want to say on fire, but kind of set them on fire at times?
Yeah, I think overall, as much as we like to say that Aggro is a very aggressive roster, that does play a little bit more towards the ranked style of play. One thing I noticed out of their Clubhouse in particular is their timing is really strong. You can see players right before the execute's happening, just sitting there waiting for their IGL calls to go now, and then they flood in unison. So as much as we say it's aggressive, you have to give them the coordination and the benefit of the doubt that they know what they're doing and their strats are all designed in a way to play to their strength, particularly on this map. But I also, Consulate's a very big variable. I have no idea what they're going to be bringing to Consulate, and I guess I'm on the edge of my seat for that one.
Yeah, I think, Harrison, you said it yourself, that Aggro's been scrimming Console a lot more. It's a bit of a weak spot in their area, and they're strengthening it up. I guess the big question right now, Harrison, is do you think it's going to be a 2-0 tonight, or are we going to see map number 3 still?
You know, with Aggro being a weaker Consulate team and exclamation point Bones scrimming it a lot, that's what I would have thought. But 7-1, man.
Yeah. Everybody
7-1
should
is pretty
have a
damning.
Clubhouse.
Yeah. I like Clubhouse and Oregon, right? Those are the two maps that you typically want to at least see some sort of fight back, but their exclamation point Bone just looked lost that entire map. I mean, their highest rated player, Junior, still being negative, still being under a 1.0. Meanwhile, you got 12-2 from Eddie, 10-4 from Splash, 6-5 from Asian, 3-2 from Kicks. I mean,
It's a pretty big scoreline.
He didn't have to do anything.
I mean, the 1.93, it's interesting because the stats don't look nearly as impressive across the board as we saw last night with Team Mystic, but yet Eddie's rating is almost nearly the same as Gunner's. Connor, what's going on with that? How did Eddie do so well in this first game?
He died twice.
Yeah,
And
that'll
got a
do
lot of kills. That'll do it. He only died on entry, which is, if you didn't kill him first, then you didn't kill him. If he was alive for the late round, he got so many frags over and over. Being the Malusi roamer and the soft breach, which you typically would expect to encounter a lot of difficulties with things such as nitros from below or an overall late flank, having an 87% cost is just massive.
mm-hmm.
Absolutely. There's a lot of things for both teams to think about right now because we're going to a very interesting map called Consulate in just a few minutes. We're going to be going to a small break while we get things set up on our end and make sure the teams have the best experience going to map number 2, what could be the very final map, but we'll find out in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. We're heading to one of the most well-known embassies in all of esports now, Consulate, for map number 2 between these two exquisite teams. My name is Keg, and I'm joined by the amazing Mr. C-Daps Connor and the amazing Harrison Crow Broder. And we're going to be seeing how it all goes down and whether or not Bone may have a chance to bring it to map number 3. Now, Crow, you did mention Consulate is a bit of a tough map for both of these teams, but Bone has been scrimming it so much.
Yeah, they've been looking good so far on it. Aggro, again, haven't had the best history. In fact, we were talking with Exile before while they were doing the map bans, and he expected them to ban either Coast or Consulate first, which didn't happen.
No.
Aggro ended up banning Coastline second. So maybe Aggro have something up their sleeve. You know, maybe they were saving whatever. And I think what was it? It was like a UPL qual game or something. Maybe they were saving just for this moment. We'll have to see. After that Clubhouse game, Bone need to put all their cards on the table.
Yeah.
Now, Connor, going into this between both teams, we've seen their storied histories in SCS about what they can do in terms of results. What's the number one thing you're expecting to see coming out from each team on Consulate?
Well, Consulate being a map that's slightly more toward the attacker's side, it's just going to be gunfights. And overall, the way you can play Consulate is either super frag heavy or super structured. And with the way that Aggro likes to play, you're not going to be able to play super structured against them because they're going to find the small little weaknesses and just send 5 people at it and counter strat you and make you feel uncomfortable. But no more speculating about the game. We can go right on into the map bans where me and Crow are going to try to get in 100% again.
That's right. Let's see how these operator bans go. Good luck.
Let's see. All right, Connor.
Blackbeard.
Thatcher, right?
Blackbeard. Thatcher definitely will go
I'm gonna go with Thatcher Nomad instead. You know, just personally. There's one. There's Thatcher.
Yep. The Nomad, if we're gonna be honest.
I'm gonna go Nomad.
Yeah, you sold me. No.
No.
Hibana.
Hibana.
Interesting.
Well,
that means hatches are going to be a lot more important.
There goes our 100% ban operator prediction, right? But second one, probably Valkyrie. There we go. So no matter what, you almost always see a Valkyrie ban on this map just because she sucks to deal with. And you either A, counteract the higher aggression brought about by a Nomad ban, or B, just shut down the defenders before they even start running out.
One of them's going to be left up.
Mira.
Kite still left up. There's some cheeky
So we're now
electrical places.
We're what? 7 for 8?
We take those. What's the math on that one, Mr. I can do 5 decimals in my head.
1/8 is 12.5%. So, 7 by 12, 84, 87.5%.
You whipping out the phone? Now you're doing Google. I can hear your keyboard.
I was right. 87.5%. Look at me go.
There we go.
It's the Chinese brain doing the work. That's why, as genetics, I guess. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, Aggro, starting off on the defense. They're going to be going to Garage. Nomad is left up. Thus, we will probably see her every single round. I imagine Bone probably won't make many adjustments to this attacking lineup. You've got the Nomad for the flank watch. Your one hard breacher. You don't really need more than that on this map. No Thatcher, but you've still got the Sledge, and you've got the Iana with the nade, so once you take control off of Piano, you can deal with whatever the hell they've got on the wall. It seems like it's just a couple mute jammers right now anyway, so that's not too tough to deal with. And, of course, Ash, just because, it's Ash. Aggro right now setting up for the 3-tiered roam, however. So they got plenty of anchors, they've got plenty of utility dedicated to the anchor game. You've got Melusi Banshees, you've got Jammers, you got the Maestro down there, but look at this. So much drone denial in the Jammers. You've got the Vigil upstairs as well, likely going to be assisted by either the Melusi or the Jaeger, maybe even both.
Interesting enough, the main thing I noticed about Aggro's defensive lineup is no deployable shields for downstairs. That means holding pipes is going to be hard, to say the least.
Yeah, in a word.
Yeah, in a word, it will be hard. Maybe difficult, if you will. Nay, impossible? Maybe.
What? Nay. You mean nigh?
Nigh impossible.
There we go. Wow!
Yep, Junior just got smoked. Refrag immediately, but it's a trade tit for tat. And as the smoke settles, the Roam comes out on top with the last laugh. Now it's just Exile and GXD remaining, with 2 minutes to play with, and the Roamers still with all the map control that they could ever desire.
Yep, that was a 1-for-3 trade on the Roam game from Aggro there. Beautifully played. Silent now taking the fight against the man in Visa, but GXD, too preoccupied with watching his own flank, gets cut down inside of Tellers. There was really nothing there to distract him, but a little bit too worried there. Now leaves just Exile. 1 versus 4. He's got a,
Tack timeout.
he's got a minute 30 to play with, and he'll think to himself, yep, this is pretty much unwinnable. I will take an impromptu tactical timeout. Talk with my team, figure out what the hell just happened, and hopefully correct it so that this doesn't turn into another Clubhouse.
Yeah. That was rough, to say the least. The Roam was nothing special. Pretty cut and dry, exactly as the eye perceived. That you had a couple people upstairs with like a mute jammer and some rotate holes. Nothing that should have thrown Team Bone for as much of a massive loop as it did. It seemed like they were on a roller coaster going upside down, and they got caught with their pants down and absolutely obliterated. And Silent just dropped this. Wow. That's a
Damn.
That's a rough
Silence,
one. That's
He's not pulling out any stops.
no punches pulled. That was straight for the
there's a
jugular.
camo.
Yep, they know
Staying
where he
down.
is, and they are going to feed upon him. Yep,
Eddie with a 3K.
red dot goes hard.
Does. Looks like Asian has converted some of his teammates to the Church of the Red Dot.
It's good company to be in. The Red Dot Club is highly coveted to be a part of.
They hold
It's like
sacrifices every weekend.
Yeah.
They
They're
only need 1 liter of blood. Look at that.
highly
Quite a low
effective.
entry fee.
Yeah, really effective. You know, you get a lot of bang for buck on your entry fee. You get to
Don't
join
drink
the
Kool-Aid,
likes
though.
of. Do not drink the Kool-Aid. That would be a very bad idea because he plays for Parabellum.
I can't make a comment like that on stream.
I know exactly where you were going, and I'm glad that you did not go there. But
Anyway,
anyways,
and I'm not
Team
saying
Bone
Jameson
needs to get in the building right now.
For me, mute my mic right now. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. Please.
Basement was a slaughter. And it seems like for Aggro, they're carrying over the momentum that they built upon from Clubhouse and have not skipped a beat. Not a single one. Team Bone is in a dire situation, even though this map just started. The issues and just their struggles coming up once again is very, very worrying, as that
The
mute jammer
sun.
was brighter than my future.
Dude. Mute's got the sun in his back pocket.
He does.
Like
Splash.
Doc Ock from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies.
That was a very good reference. That caught me off guard. I didn't expect
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah, that was a
Don't
good
know
one.
why that was the first thing I thought of, but hey.
But hey.
It was. Tobey Maguire, great Spider-Man. Cute Spider-Man, too. Good looking guy.
Oh, there goes the C4.
Wow.
Wow. Incredible. Splash from downtown. Beautiful 2 frags, 2 for the price of 1. A little bit of utility for 2 kills.
Who gets the opening death there?
I don't know.
Do they just both get an opening death?
Yeah, they're just both gone.
So does
But-
that mean Splash gets 2 opening picks?
I don't know. I think we'd have to look at the kill feed. It's neither here nor there. Man advantage into the favor of Aggro's defense once again, as their early round presence has been massive. I said that Team Bone needs to get in
Wow.
the building, but
Wow,
they're struggling to
he
do
killed him.
so. Exile now DB&O from the Visa Stairs angle that he opened up. An aggressive peek that will cost Splash his life, but now will cost 80% of the HP if they're only hard breacher.
So 3v3, but HP in the advantage of Aggro. You've also still got Eddie on the Visa flank, Asian upstairs, and Kicks on Echo. And look at that. Still got a Yokai in pocket as well. Not wanting to risk it, not wanting to, you know, take the chance that exclamation point Bone find it and shoot it before the execute comes down. And with such little manpower, I imagine that we'll see this round go down to the wire, where that Echo is most effective. Asian just created an entire rotate to shoot that drone. Really got to admire the commitment there, but he'll be able to get into bathroom or even down yellow safe and sound, likely towards the later portion of that round once he feels the need to give up yellow. GXD goes down outside thanks to the Visa window peek from Eddie, leaving it just Exile and Bone in a 2 versus 3 with 45 seconds left. And still upstairs for the defense. They'll battle back against the spiral door. Bone nearly takes some shots, and Exile's going to start the plant. There's an air jab up top. It'll deny Eddie from dropping, but only momentarily. Exile will have to fall off the plant, and they've even got pings thanks to those Yokais from Kicks. Eddie will drop down the hatch. He's now just behind the circle desk. It does not look like exclamation point Bone know this, but no, Bone wins his first fight, but he's instantly traded off, leaving it only Exile on 20 HP, left to clutch a 1 versus 2, and only 15 seconds to do it. Even if Aggro throws their lives away, they've still got the Yokai drones to fall back on, but Kicks is going to come off of it. He knows he can play for the kill. He'll just pre-fire Exile into the grave. Aggro with round number 2.
You know what, Crow? I think we made a grave miscalculation. Or more so, we left a variable out of the equation. That Aggro is an Xbox switchover team, and Xbox players are simply
that's
built
what
different.
I said.
They're simply
And
built
then-
different on Consulate.
That's what I said. And then Michael said, nah, they suck on this map.
Well,
Well,
they're flying too close to the sun, and
This
and
is
man,
a,
our Team Bone's wings starting to melt.
this is an I told you so moment. I remember talking to them and being like, no, Clubhouse is an extremely good aggro map. Like, they're really good on it. You sure you want to ban Chalet? And they were like, yeah, trust. Well, I told you so.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Aggro now up 2-0 on their Consulate defense. 1 round away from taking a perfect site rotation.
2
They'll
rounds
try and
away
do
from
it
the World
on
Tour.
Archives. Indeed, from the hat trick. From the trifecta, as they say. The triathlon. The triple
Yeah,
threat.
so you got the perfect site rotation is 3 in a row, but it's a phrase that Caliber Jacob turned me on to, that if you get 4 in a row, that's the World Tour.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's the World Tour. That's
the
the
World
Grand
Tour.
Slam.
It is a Grand Slam.
That is the quintessential quartet.
5 seconds to go.
No, that quintessential goes with 5.
Attackers are moving out to locate
I
bombs
know.
and defuse.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of another word that started with Q.
Yes, it's a quintessential quintet, not a wow. That mute
I
jammer
mean,
just catches
quintessential. The word quintessential
Me off guard. No, but
itself.
it goes with 5. I don't care
No.
what you say.
Okay, the root of the word does not mean 5. It's just
I know.
paired with quintuplets in the stupid anime name, okay? I can still use quintessential in
No, you can't.
other contexts.
No, you can't. It's not allowed.
All right,
You're
okay,
not
my
allowed
bad.
to. Alrighty, Lava's already in the building. This horizontal roam clear from the CEO side is the bane of existence for the current strat Aggro are employing. A 3-floor hold, deep roam, but they've already fallen off early. The success that we've seen multiple rounds in a row for Aggro inside of admin is actually vacant, and a vertical pressure will soon ensue, trying to slowly peel back the layers of floor that separate Team Bone from the bomb site where they will most likely make their execute, being the first floor one. They don't need to touch the basement. They just have to worry about the nitro cells and the information Eddie is gathering with that cardiac sensor. If you count correctly, there's 3 nitro cells, 3 chances to win the planter's death, as well as a Splash who can jump up a hatch even though they're all reinforced.
Yeah, it's a little bit odd that they don't open up those hatches for the rotates. Kind of like, why did they bring the Oryx? Maybe it's to open up and jump up the hatches on this side of the map, over on the west side, over towards Piano and Console Office and all that good stuff, where the attackers, after clearing, are likely not watching as intently. Junior will go ahead and start his soft breaching. He'll take out one of those evil eyes protecting the teller's sight. You saw those floor holes being opened up earlier in the round by the Maestro as well, leaving no portion of that floor safe. Here comes Rexavy. He's going to go for that flank, and he'll actually win his fight against GXD. In no world should he have been able to fell the Nomad there. Tyson dropping the ball, and he'll give up the first pick. But the plant is going down for Exile. He's on top of the filing cabinet. There's the preset holes. The C4 goes up, and it hits its mark. Silent survives with 1 HP. It's tasked with Bone to try and get this diffuser down. Another C4 goes up. It will miss. And now the plant attempt will start once again. Junior will try and look through the floor, trying to cover his teammate. And there's the upstairs cover from Lava, covering Visa stairs. Rexavy very low on HP, as is Silent, as now is Eddie. Bone have the HP advantage. There's 1 kill from the SMG-11. Make that 2 as one player is traded off. But now it's down to a 1v1. It's just Lava versus Kix. SMG-11 versus SMG-11, but Kix has the time to go for this res. Rexavy now up. They can try and duo retake upstairs, but almost on cue, Lava will rotate back down. Kix knows it, but he'll lose the fight. A triple kill now for Lava. Only 10 seconds remain, and no, Rexavy might be too late. He's got to start the animation, but where's Lava? He might not be in range. He'll be able to get into the room. Can he spot Rexavy? The headshot just in time. Bone will take round number 3. They were a hair's breadth from losing that, but a big quad kill from Gavin will secure their first attack.
I wish I had a heat map tracker of where Lava went, because he ran a marathon. He went everywhere. He was upstairs, applied vertical pressure, got the flank kill onto the Visa stairs, dropped down, killed somebody inside his sight, went down inside a basement, came up spiral and shot another person in the back. Really well played, really smart play coming out of the Sledge main himself. That took a round that was not looking too hot for Team Bone. For them, that's a step in the right direction. Aggro finally looking human, finally looking like they can make mistakes, and they are not an absolutely perfect team on the defensive side, as we saw on Clubhouse. Maybe this is exactly what Team Bone needs. With the amount of confidence Aggro are exuding, taking every gunfight, using their utility properly, and having their roams constantly bear fruit in the frag department, it's definitely difficult for Team Bone to get any sort of footing in the round, especially with how great Aggro have looked inside of admin, which is the first point of contention that Team Bone have been going for on both their basement and their lobby attacks. Seeing the same strat be brought out for Team Aggro. Throw some people upstairs, a couple of rotate holes, and a couple of mainly hot guns hotly contesting the repel game of Team Bone. So maybe Aggro needs to try something different.
We'll have to see if Exclamation Point Bone are going to yet again be ready for this roam.
I'm happy they did not get C4'd.
That is true. Although that didn't happen on the remember, that happened on the lobby defense. So we still got another round to go before we see if they actually survive that. Splash, of course, now going to tag team with Kix. How did that...
Thank you to whoever shot that Muturon, by the way. They're the real MVP.
Oh, opening kill now for Exclamation Point Bone. We actually have not seen one yet this map, but it will immediately be responded by Eddie with a C4. Down goes Lava, but a well-placed pre-fire from Junior takes out another player. So now we finally see Exclamation Point Bone with an advantage. An aggressive run out here from Slash, but he'll whiff all of his shots and try to get back in time, and he ducks right under the line of sight of the suicide player. Kix, though, distracted by something, falls to GXD before Bone is finally traded off by Splash, who is somehow able to rotate back into the building and pick up a kill at the same time. But Exclamation Point Bone, they still have a one-man advantage. They still have ample time. It's up to them not to throw this away.
The breach has not been opened yet, but as soon as the vertical pressure inside of Piano will ensue, they'll get stuff off the wall. That's a constant, as unless Splash goes absolutely massive, still on this roam, as now he's been droned, he's been cut off, and he's been cut down by the AK-12. That's not possible anymore. It's all up to Silent, and as the breach opens up, there's a couple of angles more he has to worry about, as well as his flank. Still has a couple bits of utility, and the floor above him has not been open, but now it has. He's floundering from a power position as everything that he once knew is being stripped away. Pressure from Yellow, pressure from Breach, and the Breach pressure is what's going to be the last hurrah. Exile with another great round. I think 3 kills for the hard Breach man himself will tie up this game at 2-2.
Yep, 3 kills there for Exile, 1 for GXD, and 1 for Junior. Much better top floor take there. Maybe a little bit too over aggressive for Aggro. They gave up the opening pick, that run out from Splash. I mean, sure, it got 1 kill, but they knew exactly where he was. The rest of the top floor take from !Bone was a lot more well executed. They only lost, right? They only lost 2 bodies. And then by the time they were able to cut Splash off on his rotate back to site. And by then, 3v1 for the Maestro. He's stuck behind White Van with a guy above him. Guy Yellow, guy opening the breach. I mean, there's really nowhere for him to go. So much better there from !Bone. Like you said, they will tie up the
Attackers need
scoreline.
to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
And Aggro will try downstairs yet again.
Round of applause for Team Bone, already getting more rounds than what we saw
They
in Clubhouse.
Doubled. Tripled their total round count from map 1.
They have.
A total of 3.
Eat up. Eat up.
Incredible work there from !Bone.
They're being led by the Greek god duos
Yes.
of both Exile and Lava.
And
Poseidon and Zeus themselves. Definitely feeling massive, but not quite as much of an impact
Not
that Eddie has
respectively.
had.
It was reversed. I'm pretty sure it's Exile is Zeus.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. It's okay. You didn't say respectively. So therefore, you did not imply that it was in the correct order.
Yes, I just said it. But Eddie still having a great game. 6-3 so far. Finding a death more often than not, but finding kills at an even higher ratio.
Connor,
Yes.
I hate to interrupt you, but I just had a thought.
I don't like when you have thoughts,
If you
but
say-
I'll hear you out
okay,
on it.
So let's say I said, okay, let's say I say Lava and Exile leading their team with 5 kills and 4 kills respectively, right?
Yes.
That means Lava, who I listed first, has 5 kills. Exile has 4 kills. If
Precisely.
I wanted to do the reverse, would I say disrespectfully?
I don't know. You have stumped me.
There you go. Food for thought, chat.
Eat up. Just like the shotgun tried to, and he's actually going to down the sledge, but it's a quick refrag on the cutoff. Not really a refrag in traditional terms, but as Lava will be revived with the field medic duties, he's back in action. And the roam clear, actually strong for Team Bone once again. Junior taking more aggressive angles. He's going to drop off Eddie. Now, 2 kills to none. Make that 3 as Exile keeps on piling on the pressure. And it's a sense of deja vu. A 2v5 for the defenders, with all the time in the world for Team Bone to do with the map however they please.
Deja vu.
Yes, this is deja
Been
vu.
in this place before. I don't want to
See,
sing
you do the
anymore.
classic song. I
Might
think of
get
the
a
303
DMCA.
song.
I just simply do not. Anyway,
I do.
Asian will finally start to fight back as he takes out not 1, but 2 players upstairs. Lava and GXD both now down. Silent trying to retake 2,
Attackers have located
but that leaves the site completely vacant. And !Bone are going to take advantage of that. They still got a minute to play with. Exile with Diffuser is inside of sight being covered by Junior, with Bone soon to come in as well, but the Maestro fells Junior coming in from Spiral, traded off by Exile. It's all up to Asian. Inside of Concrete, but Bone on Yellow cuts him off. !Bone with round 5, stringing together now 3 in a row, the attacking equivalent of a perfect site rotation, I guess. And they will take their first lead in this match since round 1 of Clubhouse.
Their first true lead as a team, if you will. But now as Team Bone, they have the preferred attacking split just within reach. A single more round in their favor will get the 4-2, meaning that Consulate is indeed attacker-sided, as we predicted before. And Lobby is next up on the docket for the Team Aggro defenders to try to hold on to. Their attack for Team Bone kind of struggled early on. That, if you recall correctly, was the round where the godly C4 claimed 2 victims immediately off of the rappel, the deep left corner of admin. With whose C4 off of aerial was that? Was that a gunner C4? Or was that a...
Oh, back when they used to run the top down archive strat? Yeah, that
was
is
the gunner C4?
That is the one and only gunner C4.
Yes. I didn't want to say it earlier on because I wasn't 100% confident, but now you have reinforced my thoughts, just as Kicks and Splash are reinforcing those walls.
I don't know why it's to that. But...
Alrighty, so let's break down the strat.
Affirmation.
Yeah, it was an affirmation. Did they bring an Rooney last time around?
Attackers are heading out to defuse a
I don't think they did, because didn't they have a Mozzie?
Yes.
Yeah. My memory is sometimes good. But now
Pretty sure-
for Team Aggro, they're going to be playing into the utility denial as opposed to the intel denial. Really trying to hammer that home as Silent breaks a piano with sheer force of
Why would
laser
you do
beams.
that? It's so rude. Respect.
It was rude. Yeah.
Ooh, they can hear the C4 being ripped once again, and you can't do the same thing twice. At least not on Consulate. Bone will catch Splash, trying to go for the same patented, trademarked, copyrighted gunner C4. So down he'll go, but there's another pre-place just below Junior, but no! The explosion comes in too late, but not the gunfire! Eddie will use the C4 hole to his advantage and actually find an angle onto lava. So down goes your sledge. We're back to a 4v4 with a substantial amount of HP off the board from Junior, but still, even man count, 2 minutes to play with, an exclamation point Bone, don't give up 2 early picks like they did on their last attempt at this site.
Yeah, 1-for-1 trade, mute for Sledge. Not too bad for the defensive side. Now all of the soft breach potential resides in the back pocket of Junior's Ash. Only 3 charges means that was on cue. She screamed, ready to breach. And I think she hit herself.
He said back pocket of Junior's Ash.
Yeah, it was some play on word.
Yeah, that was a...
It's a CDAP's domer, if you will. But he is on 25 HP from that Nitro cell earlier, and now Exile's on 0 HP because Silence being a rat on bullet holes as the 81 starts sending shots down range and body shots away the only hard breacher. Fortunate enough for Team Bone, you don't really need to hard breach, but you're definitely going to need that soft breach as Junior's trying to take projector control and gonna fall and scurry away into the basement. Maybe a late flank up spiral is next on the list for Junior. He has like a little bit of drone information from the drones coming earlier on. They have an inkling of an idea that Eddie is over towards spiral, especially as that burn away that Aruni gate. But he's actually not looking the right direction. GXD falls, but it's another refrag as Bone is just so great on the Yana and acting like a flank watch, even though GXD, the flank watch, hasn't quite done that. However, the man advantage still swings into the favor of Aggro, and it's going to get even worse. This is now all left up to the lonesome Yana, and then no more frags are going to go that way. The tied 3-3 split will go and be achieved for Team Aggro. And we had to watch the Echo check the time right before he swung and got that frag. Pulled up his wrist.
So it's an even half on Consulate. Much better now, as exclamation point Bone have now quadrupled their total round count. That round, the roam clear looked like it was going to start off well, but Exile goes down. The entire attack shifts downstairs instead of taking advantage of what they have up top. No info at all on that Malusi. Spiral stairs was a big round changer as well. And of course, Junior being low on HP loses this fight to the Maestro. Bone sprints into Echo, not expecting all of those head
Attackers need to
holes.
locate and defuse bombs.
And even half, I mean, you know, it's not as bad as a 5-1.
Yeah.
So exclamation point Boner still looking, you know, markedly better. We'll try for garage first. No vigil, no mute means there will likely be no roam, not even a bathroom extension. So we'll likely see all 5 men on site. And only 1 C4 for them to play with, as the Malusi has brought impacts, interestingly enough. So if they want to get rid of Eddie, They're gonna have to do it efficiently with what they've got.
Yeah, maybe some impact tricks onto silent Selmas are in the heart of the cards for the Team Bone defense, but most likely with the way Lava and both Bone are upstairs, I think it's a safe assumption to say that they're going to be roaming in a very similar manner to what we saw. Yeah.
I was wrong.
Hey, I mean, you got a hot gun on Bone right now. He's feeling himself. Team's named after him. And he's finally fragging. 8 and 5 to his name, a couple of assists.
Oh, wait. It was his birthday yesterday.
2 days ago? It was 2 days ago.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
One
Aaron
of those.
Bonilla.
Hold on, wait. I'll find the tweet. Then we'll know for sure.
Yeah, the Turtwig tweet was fuego, to say the least. And
Turtwig.
as soon as we say that, you were right in the end. Both of them came back down to site after about 20 seconds of dipping their toes onto the second floor. And it is a full bunker turtle strat, not Turtwig. However, their impact is still being felt as a lot of drone work is going on the upstairs side, and Asian, even though he's very confident, still proceeding with caution, making sure not to get caught out by a rat hole or rat corner, somebody just laying prone in a 90-degree bend, trying to riddle his backside with bullets instead of taking a heads-up gunfight. But fortunately enough for him, there are no roamers. He doesn't really have to worry, but he doesn't know that.
Aggro have bled a minute 20 in the round now, just droning out the map. Now they'll start to descend the staircases and take control of Piano and go to work with those breaching charges, with the sledgehammer, and all that jazz. Meanwhile, you've got Lava and Bone, two roamers who were upstairs, now just off the site, over towards the server side of things, and bottom spiral, making sure Exile, GXD, and Junior's backs are covered so they can focus their attention over towards the garage breach, which, strangely enough, has not been opened yet. Usually you see that much earlier in the round. There's the singular C4 that we saw from the defense being used, unfortunately to no effect, as the sledge is still alive and kicking with full HP. First nade from Eddie to try and burn away this Electro Claw will get snagged by an ADS, so he'll try again, and it does indeed find its mark. So the entire garage now free range for Silent. We'll go ahead and open both panel 1 and panel 3. Was that okay, sorry, I thought I heard an impact, but I think it must have been the ash charge. So yeah, the entire breach will be open. 40 seconds left now. Exclamation point Bone though, still 5 men up and still plenty of utility to try and deal with this attack.
Yeah, the first Toxic Babes going out, choking away the position of the default plant behind White. And Exile's Maestro Cam is also looking beneath the cars to make sure as soon as somebody opens up that laptop that it cannot properly be planted into the favor of Team Aggro's post plant. Junior still alive inside of pipes is going to be a thorn to the side of the attackers as they push in for the breach, but he misses as somebody sneaks on by. Bone will also fall at the hands of Kicks as it's a bloodbath going into the favor of Aggro. More frags going into their favor as all of a sudden it's absolute pandemonium and chaos, but that's where Aggro thrives. It's now a 1v5 for GXD. Poor Tyson alone, the last survivor. He's going to get one. The DB&O now finished off as Splash will go home in a body bag. That's the same treatment that GXD will get as the AK-12 of Silent will run straight in through the breach and slam down any hopes and dreams of the round-saving clutch for the smoke.
That was quite the execute for Aggro.
Yeah, that was poetry in motion. That was Bob Ross with a brush.
Very, very slow, methodical setup. And when it came down to the execute, boy, did they find their picks. I mean, we didn't even need a trade game. Nobody from Exclamation Point Bone is able to land their shots. Nobody.
Nope.
Every single kill unanswered. Aggro moved as a complete and cohesive unit covering all of their bases. There was not a single even whisper of a response there from the defense up until GXD got one exit frag. And thus, Exclamation Point Bone, they will try again. They'll say, okay, that's not how things are supposed to go. Why don't we do it again? See if we can take a better shot at it.
I think the one thing about Aggro's attack, especially on this bomb site, is everything has to go perfectly. And that's why that attack looked great, because absolutely everything went perfectly. They did not lose a gunfight. They were able to just on such a small margin of error, snake their way into sight in between the tosses of the Toxic Babe canisters over towards the breach, start getting the plants down,
Attacker's objective is to locate a
and
bomb.
then just kind of kill everybody. Even if the frags did not go their way, the plant would have gone down, and I like to argue that a post plant on garage is arguably the most difficult post plant to overcome as a defender, because the attackers just run outside to Narnia, lay prone behind a car, and a disadvantageous gunfight to say the least for the defenders. Very difficult, but maybe Team Bone could have done it. However, as Lava is actually roaming this time, he might be able to catch out a free frag onto the repelling in Ash. However, there's a drone to confirm his location and a couple of bullets pre-fired his way to say that I probably shouldn't be here anymore. He has overstayed his welcome and runs away with all 100 of his HP points.
And Aggro, I mean, pretty much already clearing the top floor within a minute. They will likely, again, descend the stairs at just around the exact same time mark. Go ahead and use their breaching charges and their sledgehammer and all that stuff. Clear the electro claws on the garage breach. Ace the wall open. And execute again. Rinse and repeat. It's pretty much the same exact thing here from exclamation point Bone. The real question for me is where the titular player and his teammate of Lava happen to be placed. Whether or not they're still over towards our Lava will be tucked inside of the site. And Bone, no, okay, he's still over towards bottom spiral. Because last time we saw this, they were highly ineffectual, but Junior, with the first C4, will take Splash off the board, and we see another change as well. That's not the only one in their pocket. Lava's still got one instead of the impacts.
Yeah, really well done so far to get the first frag and really make the execute exponentially more difficult for Aggro, as they couldn't just go in 5-on-5. Now they have to worry about an extra angle that is sort of unable to be held. Everything is a moving piece, but one piece will be stuck in place. That's Lava relegated to cam duty, as some of the cams are going to go down to the breaching rounds of Asian's breaching launcher that Ash is packing. But at even man count, there's still only 30 seconds left on the clock. Power positions being held, mainly security, as Exile's going to use that to get a frag onto Silent. That was your diffuser and your smokes, which definitely helps to aid the execute, but the diffuser being reclaimed is now yellow can't be pushed down without the whirring noise of the wub-wubs the Malusi brought. It's now a full rotate coming from Aggro, as they decided Spiral is going to be their point of attack. A hatch drop from Eddie as they're starting to pressure into the players of Kitchen. SMG out, but GXD gets the last lap. A shotgun will go through, but Bone, waiting so patient at the bottom of Spiral, will bear fruit on his flank. And the round goes into the favor of Team Bone as they tie this up, never letting Aggro slip too far away.
At least we've got a much closer contest in this map. That was much better defense. First of all,
Much
you got the
better.
opening pick with that C4. Exile with that very long angle through the breach takes out Silent. Aggro know that, with the smoke grenade still up and time that low, they can't afford to go for a garage plant. Now with the Evil Eyes as well not being cleared and the Maestro still alive. So what do? They go for a last minute gambit. They try for a back push, and they only get one kill for their troubles.
See, what happened there is Bone was just waiting for so long, and he goes, I think they're rotating backside, and he started salivating uncontrollably. He got so happy. He goes, this is my moment. I've been waiting for this for so long. And he got his frags. He got his.
He did indeed.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
But now
Now-
Lobby. This is the first time for Team Bone.
Different site. Aruni as well. We haven't seen exclamation point Bone run the Aruni yet. And again, it is the titular man himself. With, I believe, Veroni. The correct choice, mind you. No Echo, though.
Yeah, typically Echo and Lobby get paired together like vanilla and caramel. Often. However, foreboding
caramel.
vanilla and caramel. Good combo.
Nice.
Should I have said like what, peanut butter and jelly? Nah, that's too basic. I wanted to be more verbose with it,
I didn't know Vanilla and Caramel were a duo.
Yeah, they are. Just like you and Jonah, you're a duo.
True. Could have said Mussolini and Unhappy Citizens.
No. Why'd you have to go Italian?
Because you're Italian.
I know. I'm going to
Could've
refrain
said
from saying what
spaghetti
I was
and
going to say.
meatballs.
No, nope.
A bomb has been located.
We're going to stop this.
What were you gonna say?
I was going to say that there's a path that I could go down, but I'm not going to because
Yeah?
somebody
What is
learned
it?
the hard way. No, I'm not going to
What
say
is
it.
What is it?
No.
Mao and starvation? Wait.
I was trying to get you to not say that.
Is that what you were going for?
Will not confirm nor deny. Alrighty, they're already going for the plant. Silent, balls of
There's
steel.
no denial.
Just going right in as GXD's gonna take out kicks. But it's actually the toxic babe of Exile to stop the plant.
Wow.
Now everything's falling apart, but a couple of refrags here is still keeping Aggro in the game. It's not an insurmountable hill, not a gigantic hole they've dug themselves into, but they're about 2 feet in, not quite 6 feet under. More frags attempted to go as Splash is locked out of heaven. He's not Bruno Mars, but he has to burn a lot of HP if he wants to run through that Aruni gate, because he doesn't have any drones, and he doesn't have any nades. Could use the Gemini, but he's dead.
The DMR.
This is the DMR, not the Roni like you said, but more shots from up above. Asian doesn't know what to do. It's a 2v4 situation for these players. Now Asian's going to get DB and O'd, and the SMG-11 duo of Exile and GXD will just frag out.
Incredible defense there. MVP of that round being the Aruni Gates. Great
Yeah.
stuff by GXD inside of Pro along with the Aruni's gadget, keeping 2 of those attackers at bay for as long as possible. Exile as well. We cannot understate the gas canister. Denying that with less than a second left. Silent really thought he could stick it. I thought he could stick it. But it turned out not to be the case. So big ups to Exile, big ups to GXD. You know, that Aruni gate, I really don't know why at that point why you wouldn't just, you know,
Tank it.
use a nade or, you know,
Did he have
you're
nades?
literally,
I just assumed because he was staring at it
yeah,
that he didn't.
he had nades.
Attackers need to
Okay.
He's
locate and
literally Iana.
Could have done a Gemini.
Use a clone and burn it. And then, but then he didn't. He decided to rotate long desk and die to the DMR, and then you leave your sledge up there, who I'm pretty sure didn't have nades, so he's got no recourse other than to just sprint through into the waiting arms of the defense. So, really good upstairs hold there from exclamation point Bone. And here's where the real test comes in. Can they complete the perfect site rotation? It's going to be Archives Tellers. They're going to try for Decider Map Point.
10 seconds to insertion.
What a fitting bomb site of Split to come out to really try to separate the men from the boys.
Yep, well,
As
G2 was robbed.
they were robbed.
Anyway.
Yes, we're not going to go into that. Even though I keep on, I feel like that's my most used phrase. Is I'm trying to keep you under
blame,
being politically correct and
I blame Ferme for
broadcast
that
safe.
one.
Yeah,
We all know Russians are part of a hive mind.
yeah. You know what I always think of when I hear hive mind?
Bees.
No, I think of the hive from the original Teen Titans.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the hive from Halo.
No, I think of the hive from Teen Titans. That was like the group
what
of
they
the
were
bad
called, right?
guys. Yeah, I believe so. Like 90% sure, if not my childhood is failing me. As Exile's gonna go for
No,
the gunner
no,
C4
Halo.
potentially. Oh.
Oh, okay. They were the Flood Hive. That's what it was. Ah, it was close.
I'm waiting for Exile to get a kill on this upside down rappel peak.
He might. He might get it.
Got a drone.
He can't go for
That's
the Gunner
cool.
C4, though, because the Aruni Gate. And Lava is, wow, very nearly dead. He's going to make a Houdini-esque escape there and just drop down both the hatches down to the basement and lick his wounds. Exile, of course, still here inside of admin, tag teaming with Bone, and there it is. There's the headshot we were waiting for, and make it 2! Exile going huge. In fact, one of them wasn't even on the rappel, it was on the player pushing paper. But as he falls back, he'll take out 3! Michael goes absolutely massive, trying his damnedest to secure this map point. Asian, Eddie, and Silent your 3 probably most important attackers right now off the board, leaving it all up to Kicks and Splash in a 2 versus 5.
Yep, they have to start getting the frags sooner rather than later. And getting Juniors a step in the right direction. That's the Maestro. That's a lot of intel coming out, but as Lava has confidence, he heard an air jab and decided to swing, narrowly missing the body of Kicks, the lone survivor for Team Aggro, who's going to have to quadruple his worth in kills in order to win this and avoid going on to match point. A couple of Malusi's are going to give away his position, and it's going to be the Malusi of Bone to put him straight down. Team Bone now with a delayed perfect site rotation on match point.
And all of that down to one man. Exile in admin, taking 1 off the rappel, taking 1 out of front desk, and then shutting down wherever the hell that third guy was. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't see it.
He was in kitchen.
I don't know where
he was in kitchen and came down Visa stairs and smoked him.
Ah, I see. Okay. Actually, who did Exile kill first?
I believe it was Silent.
Silent? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was
Hey,
Silent.
if we're both, if we
or
both
Eddie.
think it, if we both think it, then it has to be right, right?
Yeah. Sure. We'll go with that.
Already, a Rooney Gate's coming out. That seems to be Splash's worst nightmare. He
Dude, they've
fears
been-
no man, but that thing looks at a Rooney Gate, terrifies him.
That scares me. SCS Point Bone have been playing around their arena gates really, really well too.
Yep. They actually are supplementing the roam and being used really properly. It's not going to supplement the roam. It's going to bolster up the anchors, make sure that even if they can breach, they still have to burn utility to get that safe pathway into sight, which is definitely where the execute has gone down every time Aggro has attacked. They just try to blast the floor after their full top-down roam clear, make sure that you can't play behind white van, push to the rotate, kind of play
Attackers must locate and defuse a
pipes, which is a power position that GXD and Junior have both been playing. But look at that. I just noticed. What on the side of exclamation point Bone statistically peeks out at you?
The fact that Exile and Bone have 12 kills apiece.
And they're both from Down to Earth. Crazy stuff.
Wow. Junior's gotta get his gunny up, bro. Come on. No slacking, Chris. Anyway. I mean, hey, they can keep doing this tremendously well. Maybe it'll be enough to carry exclamation point Bone over towards that map 3 of Villa. Fortunately there, Lava is not Gunner, and he'll miss the C4. So a little bit of wasted utility there. Not even a bit of HP. He'll spot the player breaking the console windows, and he's kind of trapped in long desk right now. He can't safely rotate out, and with people already taking control of admin, he can't rotate down towards the Visa side of things either. He's pretty much stuck here. Bone, it looks like he'll try to come to his teammates' assistance, but he'll fall to the flank cutoff of Asian, and Lava, he'll be downed by that console repel player. So a poor roam to start here from exclamation point Bone as they drop 2 bodies.
But Junior's gonna do what we in the business call hitting a lick. As soon as you go down in the man advantage, you know that you need to make a play, and his play is creeping up the Visa stairs. Exile falls, but it's almost a triple kill as Junior did not know what was happening. Tries to pull out the C4, but caught with his pants down as Eddie takes full advantage. It's all left up to GXD, and this is shades of rounds pass. A slightly better scenario than the 1v5 he was left with the first time around of the defensive site of basement, but the situation is nearly as dire.
Did Junior's like right-click break?
I don't know.
Like, that's the only thing I can think of that would explain that. Like, his mouse too must have just. Oh,
he uses toggle aim. No,
aim, dog.
You would have gotten a. Oh wow!
Wow!
Good night,
All right.
Splash. 3v1.
Incredible
Winnable.
shot from GXD. I mean, I don't know if it's winnable. He's gonna go ahead and use 2 of his gas canisters on the main garage breach. He'll deal a lot of damage to Eddie, but still not safe. Very tight angle now being played by the sledge at GXD will hold, but his rotate's covered after being aware of that man on yellow. I'm not quite sure why he just decided to sprint across like that, but hey, he will lose the round, and Aggro will take us to the last round of overtime. We are now going to either map 3 or OT.
Alrighty. Do you remember the phrase about pressure that I used in map 1?
Yes.
It either makes diamonds or bursts pipes. It's time to see if...
Although, you don't need heat to burst pipes.
You don't. But what I was going to say is it's time to figure out if Team Bone are a metal cylindrical object or if they are a giant lump of carbon.
Whether or not they will be turned into said diamond or whether they'll turn up a dead fossil.
Attackers need
Yes,
to locate
fuel
and
for the
defuse
fire of Team Aggro, launching their date towards Honor Esports
Attackers
next
have
week.
located a bomb.
Will !Bone be turned into the coal that lights Aggro? We'll have to see. That's why we're here. Because we don't have the answer to that yet.
Find out next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, all right, cut the feed for me.
We're done.
I'm kidding. Don't do that.
This is a tense moment.
Oh, he really did cut the feed.
But Son of Finn, he'll deny the plan.
He
He
did.
still work out.
I love him.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
That's it. We're done. It's over. Pack your bags.
Tune in next week. No, of course. We're not gonna do that to you because I would
Why?
hate it too.
I want to know the thrilling conclusion.
Exactly.
Is there a plot
stay
twist
tuned.
with Aggro punching their ticket towards overtime? Or will Team Bone make sure that we have to go
Bomb.
the Italian countryside villa?
Will you and I want to die because Ferme still has infinite OT on for best of threes?
That is very true. Save a life.
We have a
Don't
2.5
go to
minutes
overtime.
to find out. Oh, 2:20 now. This is Lavi. Okay. Exclamation Point Bone did fantabulously on this site, if I can use a colloquialism. Mainly due to the efforts of GXD upstairs. But look at this. Aggro are like, all right, screw that. Screw your top floor hold. We're going to go from underneath. We're going to place men inside of garage, do a little bottom up, and try for this piano plant. That way we don't actually need to take control of meeting at all. We can just kind of hold a man there, have someone for the cutoff, and here you can see the execute is going to start coming in from silent. He wants to get his smoke grenades in, try to cut off antechamber. So there's the player inside a bathroom. But speaking of the bathroom player, Exile, he'll expose himself to Eddie on the anti-repel. Down goes your smoke, a huge portion of your anti-plant utility. And the swing from Aggro comes in as well. Bone taking damage from the console repel player, but he's able to take down the diffuse planter and the repelled player as well. Bone will go huge. Aggro now with 1 foot in the grave. It's up to the last 3 to prevent the coffin from being sealed in a 3 versus 4. A minute 15 now left in the round as they scramble to try and find some map control. The diffuser currently lost in sight.
But the life of Lava is lost as Eddie's going to claim another victim, making sure this man count stays even and Aggro stays in this game. But now Bone's going to go even more. That's a triple kill in his favor as it's just up to Asian and Eddie. And Eddie's not on a whole lot of HP. And Asian has definitely cooled off since last round. No nitro cell in the back pocket of GXD, but that's something that Junior is still bringing to the table. The potential for the downstairs plant denial still looms large into the back of the minds of the Team Aggro attackers. As they're going for a rotation, but it doesn't matter as the quad comes out for Bone. The pre-fire onto the connector player nearly claiming the life of Eddie. And Bone wants his ace, the titular man himself. The aggression exuding, the ice in his veins constantly flowing in as the accuracy of the DMR has just proved to be too deadly onto the side of Aggro to deal with. And it's gonna be the ace! Wow, Boner, good match. Ace for the man. Map 3 coming up soon.
Incredible play by Bone with an ace to seal the deal and send us to map number 3. It looked like it was going to be over. They lost their bathroom player. Another body fell. The push was coming into the site, but just as Silent thinks he's safe and sound on the indestructible stage, there's Bone, ready and waiting, able to slip by that console repel player. That little portion of poor cover from the repel, of kicks, I believe, caused the spiral. And I just, wow, what a finish. And the man to do it is Bone himself. The man, the myth, the legend, exclamation point Bones in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, if you please.
Yeah, I need to see a giant wall of that copy pasta. He's the man that comes equipped with those ADS things. He also has a cool gun that goes pew pew. Makes attackers go away. He made a whole lot of attackers go away that round, once again singing the praises of Aaron Bonilla, the coldest last name in the game, securing the first map win that Team Bone has ever had as a roster. And what a time to do it. As our predictions were correct, we said it was going to map 3. Sure, Consulate a little bit closer than we thought.
Yeah.
But Team Bone they're doing well. They're peaking at the right time.
Yeah,
And Aggro are sweating a bit.
You know what happened? You know what happened there?
They got their confidence back.
The very last round, Exile and Gavin, they said, Bone, go kill them. Right now. And there you go.
Holy crap. My God, Bone.
My hands are shaking. I'm gassed up,
right?
man.
Like in the green room, we were all shouting and screaming. We were watching it with you guys on the program feed, and Bone with the A's. We didn't know if it would happen or not. But Crow, how did it all line up perfectly? Did the stars align, or was it all that scrimming practice, like you mentioned?
I think it was not only the practice, because you could see those were some really interesting strats there on top floor of Consulate with those Aruni gates and stuff like that, but it was also them, I feel like, finally getting warmed up. This is their first game day setting as a team. They needed more time to gel, and I think they finally found their groove. I mean, 17-7 for Bone. Exile, who went from what like 1-8 or 1-7 from the previous map, now 12-7, completely flipping the script. I mean, if it wasn't for the efforts of Bone and Exile, this would have probably been a 2-0. As you can see, GXD Jr. and Lava are unfortunately kind of just lagging behind. But I'm really hoping that on next map, we're going to see all 10 players in this lobby have a highlight play.
Yeah, I think you bring up a great point, Harrison. Now, Connor, does that mean whether or not the success for exclamation mark Bone, is that a flash in the pan? Or can we expect to see, again, all 10 players really show up on map number 3?
I think Team Bone, being a versatile roster that still has that honeymoon phase that we've been harping on so much, they've started to read into how Aggro want to play, and right now it's the Eddie show. Eddie's still having his cake and eating it too, and I think it's going to be up to Team Bone to really try to find a way to minimize his impact.
Absolutely. You know what? We're not going to keep you guys much longer. We all need deets after that Bone ace at the very last round. We're going to be going to a small break while we get things all set up for map number 3. But don't worry, don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back. The faith is back. We saw map number 1 go in Aggro's favor, but map number 2 ending things off with an ace with the titular man himself, Bone, bringing it back in the very last round. It's going to be up to map number 3 now, guys. We're going to top for the quarterfinals. My name is Kagan. I'm joined by the amazing Mr. Connor and the amazing Mr. Harrison. And we're going to see exactly how map number 3 Villa's going to go. But Harrison, we've seen before, Aggro does a pretty good job on Villa. Can we expect to see the same results, or are they going to be a little lopsided after that Consulate match?
Well, if, again, the info that the exclamation point Bone players gave me are as accurate on Villa as they did on Consulate, we should at the very least see a pretty damn good fight. As you said, this is a good map for Aggro. Theoretically, a good map for exclamation point Bone is, again, like I said, this is their first real game day setting. And the fact that they went 7-1 on Consulate, they were down atrociously. Then to come back on Consulate like that, I mean, sure, it was close, but finishing it off with an ace, I mean, your mental's got to be riding high after that one heading into map 3.
And absolutely. And with Connor, all the background knowledge we have, all the things we've seen this season, again, it's still Bone's really first time as an outing as a full-fledged team. Are they going to be coming into this final map with a disadvantage over Aggro?
I think Aggro have looked really good on their coordination side, while Team Bone being a little bit more sporadic, a little bit more sparky, if you will, a little bit more scrappy in the way that they're fighting on their executes or their defenses. And like Harrison mentioned early on in the broadcast, I think back like an hour and a half ago, he said that Villa is a map that allows for more creativity. And right now, with the way that Aggro are playing, a lot more closer to home and together as a unit, is directly being countered, as we saw evident on Consulate, due to the really kind of unorthodox plays that players on Aggro hadn't expected to see. Splash was terrified of Aruni gates, and I think yeah, I mean, I think if Aruni makes an appearance, then Bone might just take this.
And speaking of those Aruni gates, it seems like Consulate was really well scrimmed to have those unique kind of defenses. Are we going to be seeing that again more on Villa coming out from Bone?
We might. I mean, we always like to say Clubhouse and Consulate, they're very linear maps. There's not a lot of room for adaptation, but with the Aruni that we saw from exclamation point Bone, that was really cool to see on Consulate. If they can bring that same kind of innovation here to Villa, a map that's a lot more flexible in what kind of new things you can do, they might be able to catch Aggro off guard. I don't know.
But Harrison, what does that mean, though? Are we going to see, what kind of adaptability do we need to see Aggro bring out? I mean, typically when you are faced against an Aruni as an attacker, what should you do?
Burn it.
Burn it.
Burn it.
Burn it.
With whatever you got. I mean, at that point,
They had a Yana. That's literally
the round that we
infinite
pointed
burns
out
on Aruni gates with the Prismas.
Yeah, the round that we pointed out, it was the lobby attack on round 7, 8, 9. On round 9, right? When we saw the Iana like stumped by the Aruni gate, she had 2 nades. She had probably a gone 6 left. She has her Iana clone. Like, just burn it. I don't know why. It's like every single time we saw an Aggro player faced with an Aruni gate, they just didn't know how to throw something at it.
Well, it looks like we're going to be throwing a lot of things our way. How about 4 operator bands to start things off? It seems like we're just about ready to get started with map number 3, the final one for the quarterfinals of the entirety of SCS Season 5. Connor, Harrison, I hope you guys are ready, because it's going to be Aggro versus Bone one last time. Map number 3, we're going to Villa.
We are going to Villa indeed. Connor!
I feel at home.
Your country!
I feel at home.
You're home!
Yeah.
Go cook me some spaghetti.
You see that?
And get into this.
No, it's the other way. Like right there. You see that long abomination of a last name?
There you go.
Yeah, it's Italian. Surprise, surprise.
The apostrophe
Alrighty. We're 7 for 8 on bands.
All right, we're 7 for 8. So Thatcher.
Yep.
Right?
Thatcher.
Gotta be Thatcher.
Ace.
Ace first.
I wanted to say Ace.
Yeah, we should have said both of our attackers
Yeah,
first.
that's what I was thinking. I was gonna say Thatcher Ace.
How about this? You would have said Ace. How about we'll include Ace?
Okay.
And then this one's got to be Thatcher.
It has to be Thatcher, or else our mental is just chalked and we're done with this. And
This one's got to be Thatcher.
there we go. Okay.
There we go. Okay. All right.
Valk. Definitely Valk. Has to be Valk, right?
Does Mira get banned on Villa?
I don't think so. I think we're gonna see a Goyo ban.
I don't know. I feel like
I feel
like
a
the Mira
Goyo
ban's been
ban, man.
pretty- Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Mira Valk.
I think Valk Goyo. Okay.
There's
got
the Valk. So
That's our
we're both
common
right about that
denominator.
one.
Now let's see if the if the math starts to get a little bit more wonky, a little bit more fun.
Really? Goyo over a Wamai?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You're crazy.
Up, and it's Mira.
Yeah.
Unlucky.
To me.
Hey, I
Give it
wanted to
to
throw the curveball, you know. You miss 100% of the shots you never take. That's a quote
I
from
respect
Michael
it.
Scott. You heard it here first.
I respect it. You know, taking a wild shot.
Yeah. It almost
Um,
connected. Not really at all, but, you know.
The hell? What the hell is an 11 out of 12?
Well, 1/12 is 8.75, correct?
Yeah.
So do that math.
Mm,
Is it a 95? No.
No.
No, it's like a
It's
93.
91?
Yeah, 91.25.
No, 12 doesn't go evenly. 12 doesn't go evenly into a 0.75 like that.
Yeah.
It's got to be 91. Well, it's 91,
Attackers need to locate and defuse
and
the
then
bombs if they can.
And on this episode
say
of Counting
points.
with Crow,
0.6 repeating?
maybe.
I feel like that's right.
I'm going to
Wait,
pull
wait.
up my calculator on my phone.
Let me see.
Aha!
Aha! I'm right!
Good job.
So good! It's 1 over 12. Yeah, 1 over 12 is 0. It's 0.83 repeating. There we go. I am simply
10 seconds to insertion.
built Chinese. I was gonna say built different, but there's a lot of people like me. So,
Alrighty.
in fact, there's several billion people like me.
Attackers'
There are.
objective is to locate
You want to know
bombs.
something interesting?
What?
Here's where we're going to go into a little bit of theory crafting on how Villa has evolved as a map. Used to be super defender sided. You can't really say anything. That it used to be like 5-1 kind of
Yeah.
splits, and
Just like most. Well,
Yeah.
I was gonna say all new maps, but Schley is a thing. So just like most new maps.
yes. Alrighty. But now, can we agree that it's gone a little bit more towards the attacker side? It's like a 3-3, sometimes 4-2
Yeah.
kind of
This
map.
is an even map. This is
Yeah.
an even map.
Aggro decided to go onto the attacking first. They had the overall better round differential across two maps because of their 7-1 victory on Clubhouse. So they got the option to choose attack or defense. And they're feeling more comfortable in their
They
attacks.
led 12-8 total wins.
Yes, that's quick maths.
Yeah, I wonder why they want to start attack first. I mean, there's a lot of maps that people are starting to choose attack first, where
I think it's 'cause
previously
of ban
we'd be
order.
like,
Ban order.
what? Like, you know, Clubhouse is starting to be a little bit more attacker-sided. We see some teams start attack on Club. We see some teams start attack on Cafe, too. That's a really common one. But already, speaking of the attack, they'll be the ones to get the first pick. Eddie will find it from the study window
Wow,
onto
that's a deep
Junior,
angle.
playing main stairs. You've now lost your Goya. Now, sure, his shields are out, but you do lose a C4 and one of your top main players. Silent will go ahead and start to try and get this study wall open, as Lava will find one frag for his team, taking out Splash, the Zope, looking for the player on the study repel, but oh, he's actually able to get it! What a shot from Lava! Down goes Silent, ripped right off the rope. And it's a 3 versus 4 now, exclamation point Bone, though Lava low on HP, held a one-man lead in round number 1.
Yeah, he's proving that even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, sent about 50 million bullets over towards there, and finally one into the cranium of the repelling Silent. Now that's your Habana down. No more hard breach available for Aggro. They're going to be forced to funnel in through doorways and avenues that were previously open of the like. Asian trying to take 90, has the drone intel to say that, yes, Classical and Books is clear. Red Dot going in and seeing that there's a shield. Trying to get the angle onto the head of, I believe that is Bone, if I am correct.
I would
Both
imagine
SMG11 says, yes, it is. And a couple of Toxic Babes riding off at the entryway from Study. But they found their way into the default plant, and that's where Lava is residing, a quad kill in his favor. Can we get back-to-back aces for Team Bone? The magic, the pistol going out as he jumps, but he flew too close to the sun. So anticlimactic in that, as the round is essentially done and dusted, bar some heroics from Eddie, that we will be waiting for the next round to see if they come. Bone cleaning up, once again, the titular man, getting the final frag and taking the lead into the side of his team.
What an incredible play by Gavin Lava Griffiths.
They never
One
expect
half
you
of the
prone in
Greek
default
god
plant.
duo. Indeed. I did not think he was going to literally run at the guy planting vault, but hey, it worked. And on 1 HP.
Expect the unexpected.
On 1 HP. What a play.
So if you expect the unexpected, then the unexpected becomes the expected. Therefore, what is the new unexpected that you're supposed to expect?
The previously expected. Or the never even conceived.
And I guess for
Because,
Aggro's side, they never
right?
conceived that a Melusi on 5 HP would sprint at them.
Because you can consider things that are unexpected to already have been conceived, but tossed to the wayside. However, if you expect both the expected and the now previously unexpected, the only thing left are the things that could be considered impossible or just never conceived at all.
You know, I think we've got to decrease the intellect and food for thought towards chat because I just
That's
saw
true.
I saw Jazzman type.
I was
and
literally about to make the same joke.
that Jazzman's there and it's gonna fly right over his head.
I was about to say, when you said we might have to tone down the intensity, I was like, yeah, Jazz is in chat.
Yeah.
I made the same joke. I can't wait to look back at chat in 3 minutes and see him type in all caps.
What?
Anyway, I mean,
I'll have you know I
coming
got
off
into NHS with no community service hours.
coming off of not only an ace to clean up the last map after being down 7-1 on Clubhouse, but also a big play like that from Lava to start off Villa. Exclamation point Bone. I think it's safe to say that the mental and the momentum are squarely in their corner. It is up to Aggro to try and find some stem to the bleeding, some kind of streak back in their favor to crush this before it just gets way out of hand.
Yeah. The roam being implemented right now is wide and it's horizontal, but it's attempted to be cut down by Splash on the Zofia. Trying to make a splash in the bathroom. Not quite dropping a number 2, but quite a few bullets of the M762, but none of them have bore fruit quite yet. Over a floor nade almost gets Exile. And he types
says
nah
nah
in chat, in a reference to the Biblioteca star.
I was just about to also make the same joke.
Yep. We're
Excellent
really
work,
on the
Connor.
same page right now.
Handshake emoji.
Handshake emoji.
Dab me up.
I.
Grabs your phone.
No, you cannot make that joke.
All right.
We saved that for
Anyway.
by 2021.
There's a minute and a half now left in this round, and we're still at a 5v5. Lava's going to try and make a play over towards bottom Astro, but there's a player ready and waiting inside of Bicycle. Eddie is actually... His Iana clone is allowed all the way into the site, but it may not have seen Junior. The drone certainly does, though, and he'll have to fall back. That Gone 6 charge being used by the Iana to clear one of those Melusi Banshees, and the Goyo shield now next to the bomb chassis falling as well, forcing Junior to fall all the way back to split. Exile's got a long angle all the way over towards Master, and it'll prove... Actually, no. Through Boar, he'll get 1 kill. He's looking for the second onto Eddie, but can't quite find it as Junior's tagged up. Exile will finally fall, leaving us in an even man count, but there's still this pulse down below of GXD. He's got a C4 in pocket. No more for Lava, so Lava will rotate back upstairs, maybe trading places with Bone, so the Bandit C4 can come into play later in the round as well. Here comes the push into the bomb site. Eddie finds the pick right next to the statue bomb chassis. GXD's down below. He needs to make some kind of impact with his C4 as Lava is the next man to try and hold down trophy site. Headshot there onto Splash, but Asian with a refrag onto that pulse. Bone inside of Statue finds 1 kill. He drops the diffuser, but rotating away, gets cut down from the breach. There's Lava with another kill. All he's got to do is find the Ash, but Asian wins the fight. Lava pushing up just a little bit too far, and round number 2 goes the way of the attack.
Well, that was a teeter-totter of emotions. I thought it's like, oh, it's a Bone round. No, it's an Aggro round, and back and forth, but you can't beat the red dot of the R4C. Really well played by Asian. Almost said his other teammate that had a very similar name, but we don't talk about him. And overall, that round can really be attributed to the Yana of Eddie getting that opening kill over towards Bone. Just swinging in. Or no, it was onto the Maestro of Exile, and then getting another kill onto Bone was just the driving force of the Aggro attack that allowed them to just dip their toes into the bomb site, and then ultimately overwhelm Team Bone.
Attackers need to
That
locate
could have
and
been
defuse as
a
many bombs
2-round
as they
streak
can.
for Bone coming off of last map, which would have been absolutely huge. But I said Aggro needed to stump the momentum. We'll see if 1 round is enough to do it. That did come very close. The one major mistake that I just want to point out there was GXD downstairs is Pulse getting killed. I'm not quite sure
Yep.
how it happened, whether he came up red and Asian was watching for the flank, or if he just got killed through the floor. If only he was left up, he still had the C4 in pocket. I guess he assumed that, the anchors are being pressured.
He
I
threw
gotta
it
go up to
through. He
help.
threw it through highway.
Insertion.
Oh, he did already use the C4?
Yeah, that was the C4 that was randomly on the
Ah.
ground.
Insertion.
That
That's
was
why.
his.
Okay, I thought I still saw it in his pocket. Yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate there from GXD. If he played that pulse a little bit better, tag teams with someone else, maybe. I mean, Bone still got his frag onto the site. It was just when he rotated away, he wasn't aware of the player on the breach. But that was an extremely close round. I also gotta just ask, if Lava knew that guy was there, he knew he was low. Lava knows, he's low HP. If he takes a fight like that, just one or two bullets is going to put him down. I would have liked to see Lava maybe play a little bit more passive, but with the position he was in, maybe he thought he just couldn't do so. But now Splash and Lava are right next to each other. It's a drone out. The C4 should find this kill, and there it is. Lava, a great play downstairs. Down goes Splash, down goes your Zoph, and again, it's an opening pick for exclamation point Bone.
That means the entry game is going to rely pretty heavily on Eddie as Asian.
There you did. There you go.
Asian.
You pointed it out last round, and you still did it.
No, I said as in. Like, I read it just... But Asian, even though he's on the Ash, he hasn't really been acting as much of an entry. He feels like he has too much utility with the FBI agent to die early. And it's been up to Eddie and Splash to really get their boots on the ground and start pressuring in towards site. Down below, there goes the shield, exposing GXD. And that's perfect synergy coming out between the Yana and the Ash. As now Eddie's going to tag up a lot of damage onto Junior. Only on about 20 HP. Absolute slivers into his name in a single bullet. As the rest of the team are going to be, as you say, playing paintball, trying to just land a decisive shot. But the decisive shot is what Exile lands. Absolutely obliterates kicks. There goes your flank watch, and hopefully the air jabs have been placed properly.
Eddie sees the head of Exile for but a moment. Unfortunately, unable to land the shot. Silent Eddie and Asian trying to clutch up this 3 versus 4. 1 minute left, so they do have ample time as Asian is still trying to blow stuff up from below, but little does he know, Astro is already completely vacated. Lava does go down to Silent, so now advantage maybe in Aggro's favor with the HP going their way, especially as Asian finds one onto Exile. Junior very low left with holding downside. He gets one, but is instantly traded, and now it's Bone. In a one-man disadvantage, a 1 versus 2. He nearly sees the player right around the corner, tucking towards the luggage. It's Eddie watching it. The drone comes out. It'll find the Jaeger, I believe, but Eddie's not peeking just yet. He's waiting to play for the trade with Asian, as Asian is now dipping inside of the trophy site. Iana Clone comes out, confirms the position of the Jaeger once again. Bone starts to fall off, but he looks the wrong way. He looks across the sights when he should have looked at Split. And Aggro will again take their attack on Trophy.
Yeah, their attacks on Trophy have looked good. I think that blue clear was just, it was snappy. It was perfectly timed. And literally, you could just send Asian down below, sends an Ash charge, the shield's broken. GXD was a fish out of water, and just a quick couple of bullets coming out of the G36C that Eddie had in his hands was enough to dispatch. I believe he was on mute, or was he on smoke? But we have a timeout, so I guess we can wait for stream to catch up and then check it that way.
What?
Was GXD on the smoke or the mute last round? It was an SMG-11 in Astro, I know that.
GXD was on smoke. Junior was
Okay.
on mute.
Alrighty, yeah, there. The smoke break duo is throwing me for a loop.
I don't really know why Junior just let himself die like that. I mean, he must have seen the Iana push bathroom, right?
Yeah, no,
Like, he's
but
behind
he
the
felt
shield.
like he had ADSs and they weren't burned yet. But then they shot it from below. I
But
think
you
it just
gotta
caught
figure.
him off
I mean,
guard.
it's loud though.
It
You have
is,
some
yeah.
time to react. Maybe gas it off or something. I mean,
Something.
I don't know. That was a little bit weird from GXD. Either way, It's another successful round for Aggro. They'll have
Protect your
to
bombs from being defused by
attack
attackers.
AVG. Once again. Where Lava got a pretty big 4K. We thought Villa was going to go the way of exclamation point Bone after that one round, but the fact that their only point is coming off of a 4K, that's not a good sign. We're going to need to see something else. We're going to need to see more of the team step up on this site if they want to retain our confidence.
Yeah. They looked strong on this bomb site, but once again, it was heroic play from Lava.
Yes,
And lightning doesn't strike twice typically. That's a rule of nature, and unless no, I was gonna say that the god of lightning, but that's Exile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, Poseidon, god of the sea, does create storms.
That's true. The Trident.
See? Excellent.
Alrighty. So, horizontal roam. As Asians going down below, making sure that there's no shenanigans for nitros or anything of the like.
Oh.
The Lava alive inside a master, a pre-fire narrowly missing onto the player inside of... Wow. It's just... Is Lava going to win this gunfight? There's no way, right? It has to be a pre-fire. But, Asian should have won that a bit more decisively, but he'll be limping around the rest of the map on 25 HP, forever feeling the result of that engagement that he had. The battle wounds of Gavin Lava Griffiths will remain, but Team Bone will remain at the man disadvantage for the time being, as now with Aggro switching up their execute, going for the master horizontal take as opposed to feeding directly into study, seems to be a lot more successful.
Yeah, I think Gavin may be getting a little bit too overzealous there on his roam. Really overextending himself and just kind of falling into the trap that Aggro had set. Interesting point that they deciding to bring the gridlock now over the Nomad. Not quite sure why. Maybe for the extra smokes now that they're not bringing the ace, but or now that the ace is banned. But who knows? Minute 20 now left for Aggro to set up their execute. They do take out one of those C4s, which is good, but there's still two more to deal with, as well as the smoke grenades of GXD. Exile will take a minuscule amount of damage thanks to those floor holes, and the holes opened up by Silent. He tries to get as much of his hard breach down onto the study walls as humanly possible. Bone getting flushed out of books, slowly but surely, making sure there's no ADSs, I'm sure, before Splash goes ahead and clears the shield covering him. 50 seconds left. Aggro have enough control. They do have the crossfires now established onto the site. And that's going to be answered by the gas canisters of GXD. He's got two. He's got one more. Maybe one in his pocket. I'm not quite sure. Nope. That is going to be the last one that he's currently got in his hand. Smoke grenades come through. Wow! GXD is just going to tap that guy right through the smoke, but it's immediately traded. In fact, Splash will get two. That leaves it all on GXD. He'll res his teammate, but in the meantime, the plant has gone down. It's an unfortunate situation now for exclamation point Bone. GXD will retake 90. Another fantastic headshot on the Splash. But Asian behind the bomb chassis, he takes out one, and Eddie takes out the other. Aggro take round number 4.
Now we're going to see another pause. Unfortunate. Back to our ugly mugs.
Sorry.
In just a couple of seconds. Or my ugly mug and your incredibly beautiful one. And this is an actual mug. Food for thought. How do you respond to that one, Crow? I'm proud of that one. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna grab a box of ramen? And no, you have just a whole sandwich. Or is that a burger? That's a burger. Technically is a sandwich. Now as we see a couple of bites getting chomped into the burger, Harrison Crow Broder hungry for more, slowly salivating and trying to get that morsels of meat. You can see the bacon and the lettuce both exuding off of the side of the bun. We got that in 4K. Wonderful stuff, but right now, Team Bone on their defensive side of Villa are definitely staring down the barrel of going down 4-2, which is not you want the 3-3 split. But with the way that Aggro has been playing and seeming so comfortable on this map, them choosing the attacking side was definitely the play. They're looking strong, and having flawless attacks so far on Trophy Statuary, that secondary bomb site, is what's really bringing this into their favor. They're neutral on AVG. It's a bomb site that's, it's a coin flip. They've won it once, they've lost it once. However, that loss did come at the heroics of Gavin Lava Griffiths, and right now he's been relatively silent since those huge rounds early on.
Yo, Connor, you know, what do I really want to highlight? From the Aggro
Silent
attack.
getting the Finca again?
No.
Yep, I think his computer is just scurrying behind a bit.
We've been seeing much better utility usage on Villa than we saw from
Attackers need to
Consulate.
locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
There's food stuck in my throat. I think I'm good now. For some reason, like sometimes when I haven't eaten for a while, and then I start eating, particularly very carby or starch-filled foods, it gets stuck in my throat. It's not very pleasant. It hurts a lot, but I keep eating because I love food. But anyway, so I want to highlight from Aggro's attacks, coming off of Consulate this is looking like the Aggro we saw on Clubhouse, on their Clubhouse attack, right? They,
5 seconds before insertion.
the crossfires that they've been setting up have been absolutely deadly. The utility usage has been on point, and it's been really throwing exclamation point Bone for a loop. It's not what we saw on Consulate. We're seeing shades from Clubhouse again, and I can only hope that exclamation point Bone, with Aggro being as good as they are, hopefully they're better now than they were on Clubhouse.
Yeah, with Aggro catching fire, they're a team that very heavily momentum based, and there's no argument to be said that they are not feeling definitely in the driver's seat so far. Look at the confidence that Eddie's exuding with his droning. He feels like he's invincible, right? Even though he is invincible. I was trying to make a joke, but then I kind of realized halfway through that it was not going to land, and it was going to be a B7 miss battleship moment. But hey, a lot of pressure early on coming from this southern side as Team Aggro are taking a lot of ground quickly in conjunction with the direct horizontal take in through library.
Well, we'll see if Dining is to play. We got the pulse from GXD, trying to tag team with the other C4 operators as one of the walls inside of Memo gets opened. Silent is just kind of running around over towards bottom Astro stairs. He's going to try and go ahead and open that single panel wall leading into China, while the rest of his team pushes over towards Memo. He'll find the player flanking from upstairs, but not before Junior takes out his teammate, Eddie, now dead. The Iana, who's exuding that confidence with his second life, I guess we'll call it, will get cut down for real this time. No more second chances for him. Still an even 4v4 with a minute 10 left in the round. Drone still coming through, and even an Aggro player left up top. That's Asian, making sure that no one from Team Bone can just walk up the stairs and use any wayward floor holes to their advantage.
Still 3 nitro cells on the side of Team Bone. That's 3 times they can kill a planter, or just 3 kills in general, maybe more. But now that's the only 3 remaining players left alive are Kicks, Splash, and Asian. The pendulum of the man count swinging back into the favor of Team Bone. But Splash doesn't want that to happen, and neither does Asian as they bring it right back in this game of tug of war. Splash picks up another one as it's just Junior. Wow. And it is lining up cows for the slaughter. Aggro go huge. Absolutely flawless execute, tipping over the dominoes of the Team Bone defense. 2 stinker shots coming out of the Zofia.
Was I believe a 3K from Slash?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Silent and Asian both got one. So, great stuff from Splash in that round. It looked like stuff was starting out really well for exclamation point Bone, especially with Exile still left upstairs. But because the angles previously opened up And with Aggro so split apart, that forces Bone's guns to look all in different directions. There's not much opportunity for trade potential, and they spread themselves, or at least their coverage, pretty thin. As the anchors start falling, Exile needs to try and come back to the site, and again, he caught on his rotate. Aggro has been doing that pretty damn well throughout this entire map so far, and it's a 4-1 lead, just like we saw in Clubhouse. With the only round Bone have won being the very first one.
Yep, it's been a long journey on this half, but Team Aggro just looking like the better team, more practice, more experienced on Villa, and that honeymoon phase that we said was going to be an advantage for Team Bone might just be their Achilles heel, the bane of their existence.
Looks like the Clubhouse game was just, the flight to the honeymoon destination, but
yeah, and then they had a good first night on Consulate.
But then they got caught flirting with a waitress.
Yeah, and then now
It
it's
was all downhill from there. Honeymoon was cut short. They're floundering.
Yep.
She's throwing the ring at their face. Mother-in-law's crying. Homeless.
Yep. Yeah. All the money wasted. Weddings are expensive. I was looking through my finance book planning ours.
They are.
And man, we're gonna have to take out some loans, Crow.
No. I refuse to have an expensive wedding.
No.
I don't care what my future fiance maybe wants. We're just not going to have an expensive wedding. It's just far too much. I'd rather invest in a house. Anyway, Junior will absolutely lay out Splash. The hero of last round gets cut down trying to move into the studied doorway. So again, a good start for Bone, as Splash will pay him kudos in chat, as that was, as we heard, a pretty nasty one burst. But now we've seen time and time again, Bone start off with an advantage, and it just slowly slips away.
Yep. But for the side of Team Aggro, they have proven time and time again that they can get the man advantage back, and that's exactly what GXD Tyson just learned the hard way. Ate a whole bunch of bullets right to the face.
Why was he peeking that?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Just
he got
play behind the
slammed.
shield, man.
He got slammed. But will it be GXD trying to retake to get the last laugh? No, Lava goes down. And Exile hits another stinker, just peeking with the Alda, lets the 81 burr. Now, it's all even once again. It's just back and forth action coming out of Aggro. But the health advantage still going into the side of Team Bone because Kix is so low. Still has one air jab in the pocket and can potentially use it for post plant if they're able to get their tendrils around the bomb site and pressure away enough for a plant to go. That's starting to look more and more unlikely as Team Bone has so many crossfires at their disposal, and Bone still with a flank potential playing split.
One man watching the Astro rotate, one watching split. Junior will finally be droned out as Exile holds his cross on split as well. And he's likely got info on concrete, on brick, just in case anyone tries to go for a cheeky little play over towards where the defenders happen to have a little bit less coverage. But Exile, he'll swing split, he'll take down Kicks. A C4 goes out, it'll miss, but Exile won't. It's a triple kill, and it's a fourth! As he lines them all up, he lets the 81 sing, and off the back of the Maestro, another 4K! Bone will take their second round. And although they're able to somewhat salvage the half, we have to remember they're only 2 points. Came off of 2 different 4Ks. Is that going to be enough to propel them to a victory on their attacking side?
Part of me wants to say no. The part of me also wants to say yes. Maybe it's my inherent bias due to the camaraderie I feel with many members of the Team Bone squadron. But equally so, the gun skill and the overall strategery that Aggro are bringing to the table have been really impressive, and they're sharing around the kills like they're at a nice family-style dinner. Pretty much everybody, Asian, Eddie, and Rexv getting a piece of the pie, sitting at 7, 7, and 5. As it's just the Greek gods.
That's funny, because Asian dinners are like family-style round table like that.
Hey, it's a double-layered reference.
A double entendre.
Double entendre.
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 How do you say
It's like
double in French?
Double.
Is it? Is it double?
No. I know that 2 is duh. Un, deux,
2 is
trois,
2. On
quatre,
deux,
cinq,
trois,
six,
quatre.
sept, huit, neuf, dix, onze, neuf.
Neuf, dix, nuts, huh?
Yep. Yep.
Wait. Double in French. All right, it is double.
10 seconds remaining.
Double.
Double entendre.
Double entendre.
5 seconds.
No,
Easy.
you wouldn't say double entendre because the last letter
Attackers are
of
moving out to
double
locate a bomb and defuse
is an
it.
E. You would
Oh, that's
string it
right,
together, so it'd be
yeah,
like
yeah.
double entendre.
That
At
is
least I
very
believe
true.
so.
Yeah, that, no,
I will.
that is
I will have to
100%
fact
true.
check with like Rafi or if there are any Frenchies in
Hypers.
chat.
Yeah, where's
or
Hypers
hypers.
at?
What- If
He
there's
can
any
barely
Frenchies
speak
in
English.
chat,
Do
we
we
say
trust him to speak French?
double entendre?
Yeah, whatever.
Because the French like to string together their words.
That's true. But now, as we see, force side of Team Aggro, we've got to notice if they can do it both sides. We got to see if they can defend as well as they've attacked because they've looked dominant up to this point. It's up to Team Bone to try to swing it all into their favor. The first person they're going to have to deal with is Asian, the red dot man himself, aggressively peeking with a 416 over towards Master Door. He's going to find a free frag onto Bone, now falling to 2, 2, and 5, and taking away a lot of utility away from the attackers.
Oh.
And it's a more utility going down as essentially all of your explosives, except the 2 grenades that Gavin Lava Griffiths are bringing, just went poof in the blink of an eye.
Like you said, a hell of a lot of utility off the board.
Yeah, I was
Taking out
thinking the
a-
Gone,
Yeah,
the
the nades.
Prismas, the nades.
No. Prismas are alibis. These are the Geminis.
Gemini's just
Yeah. And they 3 breaching rounds off of Junior.
yeah. That's
a hell of a
rough,
lot.
buddy. That's rough, buddy.
See if Lava, GXD, and Exile can clutch up a 3 versus 5, but Aggro are in an incredible position right now. Especially as Lava, trying to repel up to Study, is getting aggressed upon by Eddie. He's just swinging with his chest out the door. Very aggressive by the Malusi. Watching the window like a hawk. As soon as Lava breaks, he might eat a bullet to the face, but he'll rotate off and decide to regroup with his teammates as GXD and Exile start to push over towards Skull and into 90. But into 90 is where Asian actually gets 2 kills to complete a triple. And it all up to Lava. C4... Okay. A C4 takes out Silent as he just kind of suicides, but Asian's there with a 4K of his own. So far, the only 3 defensive victories in this entire map coming off of quad kills.
Yeah, it's not the tale of 2 cities, it's the tale of 3 quad kills, if you will. That's our classic literature reference of the day, our obligatory one. As somewhere, I feel like Carter's going to look around, I feel like he just got a pat on the back.
Do you even
This
know what
is
a tale
very
of 2 cities is about?
Industry.
No. No.
The wage gap.
No. No. It's about the French Revolution.
And defuse bombs.
Hypers is punching the air right now.
Yeah, it's about this guy and he was
I always
imprisoned, he was
I don't
imprisoned
know
in the
why.
Bastille.
For me, the Tale of 2 Cities and the jungle like go hand in hand for me, so I just always assume they're about similar
The
topics.
jungle?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know why, but they go hand in hand in my brain. I don't know why, and I know
The
it's
jungle,
wrong.
like by Upton Sinclair?
Yeah.
About Chicago?
Yes.
What?
10 seconds.
I think it's also the Chicago's the Twin
The
City.
Tale of 2 Cities is by Charles Dickens.
I'm sorry.
About a guy imprisoned in the Bastille, not
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse
Yeah.
it.
a Tale
There's
of
a
2
reason-
Cities and like I don't know, Pip. You know.
Hey, there's a reason.
What is that? The Great
There's a
Expectations.
reason, man.
I
There's a
would've been
reason
like,
I'm an
okay,
engineering
you know,
major, not an
maybe.
English major. I don't
Or
have to
even if,
read.
you
I have
know,
to read
Upton
numbers.
Sinclair,
That's it.
if you did, you know, the jungle and like
Located a bomb.
Rabbit Run, I would have been like, oh, yeah, you know, at least those are 2 Upton Sinclair books.
I think like just in my history classes, we like. Are
You
they
know,
f-
I used to actually confuse Rabbit Run and Watership Down. two.
Do you also have those
Very
bound in
different
gold?
No, actually.
Like your
I
copy of Dante's
Dude, if
yeah,
I
it's
had
Dante's
Watership
Inferno
down,
split, correct?
If I had what? Yeah, Dante, I have all 3 books of Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, because you
Dude, if I had Watership down, leather bound with gold trim, oh my god, dude. What a great book. Do you know what it's about?
it'd be worth probably more than me.
It's about rabbits killing each other.
Yeah. Alrighty, a minute
Yeah.
and 44 remaining. No action quite yet. If we're talking about history, this has been more of a Cold War or a war of attrition, even though those are both very different. But as a red ping goes in and identifies the flanking player trying to go up the blue stairs, Bone and the rest of his team are down below trying to remove the Electroclaw that Silent has so sneakily hid somewhere on the master wall.
Not quite sure if they found it just yet. I also just noticed Asian is 11-2. The only 2 rounds he has died are the 2 rounds he has lost, but this might be the 3rd. A wayward nade from Lava will get sent down the Astro stairs and will claim the life of the top fragger of the lobby right now. And even putting down a nice shot, the nade that landed at his feet. Splash here, though, with a big flank. He'll find 1, but not the second, as Bone will instantly refrag it, not letting that control slip away from him just yet. Even a wow in chat there from Splash, surprised by the efficiency, efficacy of that trade potential. Never mind, he just thinks Bone is lucky. Well, whatever. Eddie is
Luck
the next.
is when skill
time.
becomes a habit.
That's true.
Or skills when luck becomes a habit.
And
the flank.
There's the flank. A big 2 kills from Eddie to put the round back in his team's favor. Make it a 3rd as he looks up. Make it a 4th for the Malusi, all from Astro Stairs, as literally nobody looks in his direction. And still, we will continue with the 4K tradition. 4 rounds on the defense, all off of quad kills. Lava, Exile, Asian, and now Eddie.
I feel bad that I kind of ruined that clip trying to make a joke. That was a banging clip. Jeez. Well, yeah, that just happened. We saw a Malusi just walk up a staircase and shoot 4 people in the back.
And now it's 6-2.
It is 6-2. Maybe if they can get it to 6-4, they will match the height of Lava. It'd be 6-4.
No, what's the score?
Attackers need to locate
Right now?
It's 6-2, but if they get 2
6 to
more
what?
rounds, 6-2.
Why do you 6 to what?
Dose.
What? What?
I can't read it.
Meat. Does that say meow?
It does say meow.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Well,
5 seconds to go.
it is what it is.
And then he colon 3'd.
Attackers must locate and
He
defuse
did.
the bomb.
Even Eddie's looking at it. Even Eddie's like, what the
Yep,
hell is this?
we know, Ferme, that he wrote meow. We do have eyes.
We do?
We do.
No, for me, I have to tell me because mine are so small.
Alrighty. The potential final
Wow,
round.
wait, why
in
is
the
it so dark from there? What? You see that? Why is it so dark?
It is? Huh. I need some lights.
What? This game makes no goddamn sense.
I just saw Royal type the official hashtag of Team Aggro, which is Aggro Up, and I read it as a group. But that's
Wow.
exactly a group of kills going to the side of Aggro, as I accidentally just made a banger of a segue. And the action's not over, as the 5 remaining members of Aggro are all hungry and on the prowl, picking up a kill onto Bone. But GXD is going to deny the flawless round. GG's in chat as the vertical pressure is mounting from down below. But it's the horizontal that Tyson GXD would have to worry about. Asian goes massive. The rest of his team having too much gun skill for the poor Team Bone players to overcome. Villa was their map, and they conquered it 7-2.
And, dining being the site that bucked the trend. No quad kill on that round.
It was a triple, but not
It
a
was a
quad.
triple. You're right.
Close.
It was incredible triple. Wow, 13 and 3 from Asian, 13 and 4 from Eddie.
Aggro played really well.
Wow.
The two maps that they knew when they showed
That's
up
nuts.
on, it was lights out.
Asian and Eddie doing incredibly. I
Hey
mean,
Crow, guess what
lights out.
commonality that they share? They both use red dots.
Yep.
Yep. It's gotta be. I'm about to change all of my guns, and maybe I won't have a 0.6 KD in ranked. If I use red dot. I'm at
0.6.
I don't know what I have. On my account that I actually try on, I have like what, a 1.2, but the main account is struggling, man. It's a struggle.
I was about
It's
to
all of our-
say, usually
it's
you're
our
better than I
cast.
am in ranked.
It's the caster stacks, man. Caster stacks struggle.
So do Eero stacks. Kami and Ella
Yeah.
certainly don't help.
Yeah,
Welcome
that's
back,
true.
Max.
Hey.
Tommy told me to shut up, and now it's my turn. Silence.
I mean, look, the biggest takeaway I have to the whole matchup is Eddie's 4K on those Astro stairs. That was incredible, Harrison. How did he pull it off? Fair.
Just nobody looked at him. Nobody. I,
I mean-
don't know if the comms on exclamation point bone were muddied or they just had no idea up until the last second, but just nobody looked at him.
It does seem kind of weird, though. They came off such a huge high of getting so well on Consulate, and they kind of diffused again on Villa. Connor, walk us through that. What exactly happened with Bone?
So what happened was you had the ace on the final round of Consulate. Everybody was all the way up here, and then you had Lava's 4K on the first round of Villa, and they were right here. And then everything went downhill. Eddie was like, fine, I'll do it myself. Started fragging with Asian on the Ash, just absolutely decimating and showing that them choosing attack on Villa was no mistake. They were confident in their decision. They looked great on their horizontal takes. They put off their checklist with great timing. Looked like a coordinated, cohesive roster, and really played against the inexperience of Team Bone as a team.
And Connor, it seemed like the number one thing we were looking into going into this too was the Aruni pick, and looking for
Never
the op
happened.
selection, didn't see her at all. Why?
I think that Aruni is a operator that does lend to the playstyle of Consulate, not necessarily as much to Villa. There's still a lot of operators that you need to bring to the table, like your double shotguns, a Jaeger to deny nades, and then some intel with something like Villa. You can be creative on it, but there are still a lot of boxes that you need to check, and it seems like for Team Bone's defenses, they sort of prioritize not bringing the Aruni. We like to make the joke that the Aruni was the only reason they won Consulate, like haha, jokes, but overall it was their team plan. I don't want to discredit how strong they looked on the French embassy in the Ivory Coast, but as things stand, even looking at the stats, Aggro was just the better team. They showed up stronger, and having strong leadership from Eddie and Asian both were a big contributing factor.
I mean, Eddie, we talk about that 4K on Astro Stairs, right? But 39-15 throughout the entire series there, Harrison. That is absolutely stellar.
Yeah, he did incredibly well. In fact, yep, he dropped double digits on every map. Yeah, 12 on map 1, 14 on map 2, 13 on map 3, an average of 13 kills a map, and only tying 15 rounds.
And what would you say for Eddie specifically is the biggest reason why he was able to do that?
I don't know. I mean, it's not just his gun skill. I mean, he's got an incredible amount of it. I mean, don't get me wrong. His aim is amazing, but his positioning too was so good throughout that entire match. It seemed like in almost every single round, he was having some kind of impact. I mean, you could see that from the 82% cost. No matter where he was sitting, it was in a position to get kills.
Absolutely. It was stellar. And plus, he wasn't even the entry. He was on Buck. and he was able to find all those positional kills. You're right. But Connor, I think focusing back for a second onto Bone, you know, there was a lot of that honeymoon phase that we talked about. There was a lot riding after that second map. But what should we expect from the team from here on out? Because they've lost out in the quarterfinals.
You know, I think out of anybody, they're going to make a lower bracket run, try to really reclaim the lightning in a bottle that we saw on Consulate. But Aggro did look really good, and now they have a date planned with Honor, while Mystic is playing Biblioteca. If we want to transition down to the lower bracket, I believe it is Smoke Break versus Bone. And yes, my memory did not lose. And for the side of Aerial Rise versus PDHM, that is a matchup that is sure not to disappoint. For Bone, I think that they can easily dispatch Smoke Break. They can go just grab a cigar and take 15 minutes outside on a random park bench and go through that whole pack. But
I feel attacked.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, Connor, right, we see all these different matchups left. There's only 4 left, and of course, as they go on forwards, we're going to be going to even less and less amounts of teams. What is the #1 set that we should be looking forward to in SCS right now?
Mystic.
Mystic. Ooh.
They're a good team.
Yep.
They're a good team.
And luckily for us, we don't have to wait much longer to see that. But with that being said, though, Connor, Crow, it's been amazing to have you guys here tonight. It's been amazing to see more teams make it forwards into SCS, because we're done with the quarterfinals now. Going forwards now into the semifinals coming up very soon. We have to see who gets closer and closer to winning the grand prize of beating all of SCS in the amateur scene of Siege. But that's all we have for tonight. It's been an amazing time so far, and I can't wait to see you guys next time, and I can't wait to see you amazing casters as well. Make sure to follow them on Twitter, and have a wonderful night.
A triple kill, but Son of Finn, he'll deny the plant. He sees 2 more kills. Oh my god! Son of Finn will find more!
7 seconds left, they gotta pick up the diffuser, but Tommy lines up both! Tommy with the 1v3!
Device, misses shots, he's gonna have to go for the
Oh,
he pushes
Dylan!
on through! Dylan is better!
Round 2, and there's another as Tyrant is finished off, and they all line up for Bone!